no 5. Nobody beats me 3 times in a row and gets away with it.
We'll see. Chris Wong needs a round to stem the bleeding here. Of course, he did have the luxury of being on winner's side, so it's all knotted up to start this reset. But nonetheless, bro, you want to get a W sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no anti-air this time. Tried to go for the perfect parry, but did not have the timing. Chris Wong back to the corner. Can you escape in the bait on the ODDP? It's looking like the first set all over again, Ringe, because this is how it turned out. Spending the level 3, knowing that we're going to have a lot of time to build some meter. Chris Wong got one decision to make that now, and I love that.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect shown from Burnout, or excuse me, from NL. Oh! DP, no air flash knuckle escape for you.
Yeah, you cannot use the eject button. I am ready. Let's see. Again, playing that close range. Not getting checked by the stand medium kick just yet. And Chris Wong is being a lot more patient, not sending out these normals just yet.
And now he's starting to look for buttons of his own. So after that whiff button, he immediately pressed crouch medium punch. Such a good counter poke. He's hoping to catch a whiff attempt from Chris Wong. Oh, they both pressed the stand fierce. This time, Chris Wong just a frame faster.
And the level 3. I love that. That's 50% right off the top.
Yeah, violence.
Dang. That's a lot of red.
Whole lot of blood.
No confirm either off that low forward. Would have been the corner and potentially a one-touch situation. Now playing it a little slower. NL trying to find that hit.
Yeah, just a walk back on the drive rush jab. Both players playing pretty safe. Again, NL not biting on these drive rush jabs. Again, not biting on them.
Full charge. Full steam ahead. Let's see. Again, double crouching medium punch. So tense on both sides here. Again, no confirm off the crouch. And now about to begin burnout, and the whiff parry is, oh no, it can all fall down right here, Ringe, and that's when it starts.
That first sandblast was so smart from NL, using it as space where Chris was going to whiff the parry, just draining the drive meter on him.
Oh no.
The air to air, he gets a big juggle off of it. Drive impact was there. Chris Wong, not even a throw attempt to be found. Drive rush empties the meter. He's only got level 2. You got another shot at this, bro.
And I love that he goes for the level 1 here because that means that he can level 1 reaction, and it doesn't even need to happen. Chris Wong can't catch a break. 5 in a row. 2 more to go.
Man.
NL in the lead for the first time in this grand finals.
And Chris, it looked like that was his game, right?
Yeah.
It just felt like NL snatched victory from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah, the moment he went for the short sandblast and the parry whip, it was all over. And again, the ODDP is working, but the walk back slightly beats the grab, Chris Wong. You cannot afford to block here because you'll go into burnout. The throws start coming. And again, I'll do it as many times as it takes.
How has he been so right with these OD uppercuts? Gotta be frustrating for the opponents.
Can't get a read on the guy. NL is definitely in the zone. The eyes, you can see the lines of energy coming out of him, and there we go. We figured it out once.
Here we go. Chris Wong finally, bro, because he had baited that a few times in the last round, and NL never bit. So finally cracking a little bit, allows him to get the first round on the board here. Again, you got to stem this bleeding as soon as possible.
Yeah, we saw the round on the board last time for Chris Wong, but NL was able to make it happen. That's huge on the drive gauge burn and evens up the life, too.
2K on your life for the punish counter throw.
You just got to hold it, man. Oh, that was so good. But now you're in burnout, Chris Wong. We saw what happened up last time. You got a level 3 here. No. I don't know if I completely agree with that because now it is all going to be domination from the likes of NL. You got to try to bust out whenever you can. And he's not afraid to spend. But now, here's the thing. Chris Wong does have a critical art opportunity, but that burnout is lasting a whole long time.
Oh, the Jack wakes up with the button. Chris Wong showing no fear in the face of adversity there. Now we'll spin the level 3. Wastes a lot of that burnout time. He's still stuck in there a little bit though. Oh, NL waking up with the parry.
Again, this is a one-touch game, both sides. If NL can find the right hit.
Terminator style walking forward and perfect parrying the sandblast.
Yeah, he's definitely, oh no!
Speaking of the perfect parry.
That's where it can begin, a one-touch situation, both sides. The ODDP gets baited after the run, and that's all your bar. Thanks for it. I really appreciate it. You know, we played roulette, and you paid for the whole meal.
Oh, man.
Dude, this is so,
That's what I'm talking about, right? Where the Luke players are at home, like, how do my ODDPs not hit? I don't know what it is about NL, bro. He just got the right reads.
He's psychic. No anti-air, no crosscut. A little bit deep right there. Ambiguous on the jump. And that is a huge whiff punish. But again, right back at you.
Oh, Chris whiffing after the hit. Try to get a crouch medium kick, but just slightly out of range. Great punish there on the throw attempt. Yeah, we're going to get level 2 going after the perfect.
And no, he's going for level 1. Didn't have the right spacing there. So now still a chance, and he's in burnout again. He's looking. He's buffering for that level 1.
Yes, he is.
Oh, the perfect parry again. The Terminator walking forward. The Demon King, not like this. And now you're one touch away. Do you bait the level 1? No, he just goes for the meaty. Do you try to escape?
At least you don't have to worry about drive impact anymore. And now went into burnout himself.
No way.
The air-to-air is there.
And he's about to build the level 3 too. You have to be so careful.
And now he's playing so careful. You see the buffer. He got it out, but it doesn't matter.
It was too fast. It was too fast. That's not a normal fireball.
Yeah,
getting a game.
That's one of the things when you were bringing that up earlier, right, where you have to be concerned with the level 1, is that the hit scan on the sandblast, right? It's not like normal projectiles. A lot of the time it just appears in front of your face. So that travel time where you can react with the level 1, it's just so hard to do in this matchup.
Yeah, too dang quick. And I love that NL went for it still because, you know, the idea was there. If he was just a fraction of a second faster, that was a 2-0 lead. Again, Chris Wong finally stunning the bleeding. No 7 games in a row for you. 5 is enough.
Oh, you see inching forward and then blocking. All these players are so respectful of each other's ground game.
This set is amazing so far. Let's see how it goes. Chris Wong backing up. Out of range, and yes, he knows.
I know, he's been that one, yeah, that will spin the OD on the fireballs, get that extra range on it, take a little bit of life advantage. He's so good at sitting on it.
Oh, and again, the check. He had the meter to go for the confirm afterwards with the drive rush, willing to burn himself out. And now it's a battle versus the sandbox. He buffering.
Chris Wong, no anti-air, was ready there. Great backdash after the jump in, though. That's a huge break. What are we going to do with the corner now?
Yeah, you got to be so careful. He gets the jump back. He doesn't even need the level 1. Ready to react in all situations. And the devil on Chris Wong's shoulder gave him the wrong advice this time.
The devil won again, man. Just succumb to the thirst of the drive impact in the corner.
Do it. It's hard. It's hard to resist the temptation.
It's true.
Again, great check on the counter hit right there. The Oki situation does not work out for Chris Wong. I'm willing to just take the sandblast. Oki here backing out of the range again. Walking ever so closely. This back and forth game, cat and mouse.
Yeah, you can see that the intensity just ramps up every match as we get closer and closer to deciding who's going to qualify for Capcom Cup 10. No whiff punish right there. That is a championship caliber one, but he dropped the combo. Yeah. Chris Wong going to make the most of it here, cash out that level 3.
Absolutely. Not getting the perfect knuckle there is rough. But again, now Chris Wong, no meter, and not in burnout yet for NL. So that's a pretty good situation. Takes the huge hit, but now in burnout again. You're not going to get the kill either. Maybe a throw will do it.
Oh my God, so scary.
And he knew. Yeah, NL knew that the throw was going to be enough to kill, so he whips it out. Losing quick there, though, isn't the worst thing because now NL has the most resource. Oh, that was huge.
Ooh, that bait right there from Chris Wong, knowing NL was going to try for a whiff punish, ready to punish that one, but oh, nah. Indeed, Chris Wong, the one whiffing now and getting punished.
And I love that. Doesn't go for the perfect knuckle there, just cancels into the level 3 immediately, kind of reset the mental, get ready in the right mindset again. And it gets the check, knowing that he's been going for a lot of these backdashes, trying to escape. I love that. NL adapting.
And you see NL not going for the double drive rush combo, right? That's what Chris Wong was doing. He's putting himself in burnout. NL just taking the damage he can get while keeping the drive meter.
Yeah, keep it a little bit up. Not a counter hit there, so just gets opened up. Not exactly sure. Maybe holding forward, trying to jump. We'll see.
And now look at this again. Chris Wong backed off, trying to bait one of those OD DPs, but NL didn't give it to him that time. Still to the level 1, but how do you connect off that flash knuckle?
About to burn out. You have to perfect parry all of these, or you're going to get caught pressing. And if he goes for the feint, you have to be so careful. The level 1 is getting buffered. So dang careful. The knee is going closer and closer to the corner. About to be out of burnout. Walks right under. That was so clean. Legendary status. And it is looking like a legendary run. 1 game away. NL with a 2-1 lead. Chris Wong, it's do or die. Oh, man.
Yeah, you saw Chris Wong, he didn't want to be predictable or linear about his approach on the offense in the corner, right? That's what we talked about, is that, like, as much of a hindrance as burnout is for the person that gets burnt out, it still gives them more intel when playing defense against their opponent. And right there, I mean, that was perfect from NL, just walking forward, staying calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah, now Chris Wong, again, getting the momentum early, has to spend a little bit of that drive gauge, but it was pretty cheap. NL at the deficit, finding a way out once again. It's not the ODDP, and Chris Wong has become so so afraid that the jabs on Wake Up are starting to work even more consistently for NL, and the consistency of his punished counters has been so dang good. No anti-air this time, but again, the whiff knuckle.
Look at, and again, just backing off, respecting the ODDP.
Oh.
NL has truly conditioned Chris Wong here.
But he's in burnout again. You have to lock him down, and he knows.
Oh no, but that whiff after the suppressor, he wasn't ready for where Luke was going to end up. Does check the regular dash.
Gotta be so careful. And no, Chris Wong knows that he has to stay away. Oh, the stare down.
Oh, yeah, looked like an execution error on NL's side, but nonetheless.
Wow, in the first OD, Sandblaster, he throws out. He gets the perfect parry. All right, NL. One more touch to do it. Is it going to be an OD bust out from Chris Wong? Can NL bait it? And he gets it this time. He got the startup. His reactions are inhuman.
That was ridiculous. Yeah, caught the regular Sandblast. Oh, fortunate timing on that one. Yeah, he's been threatening with the OD Sandblast now.
Oh,
Chris Wong, he has to be careful. Doesn't check it. Doesn't flinch in the face of the drive rush jab.
Anything can do it here. You got to be so careful. Chris Wong knows. No buffering either. OD Sandblast comes out. One more. 18 seconds on the clock. Chris Wong knows he has to push forward, and that's exactly why NL is now at set point range.
This is wild, man. From the loser side to start top 8. On the verge of qualifying for Capcom Cup. Again, look at this. They're just jumping back now. All these drive rush jabs. He just keeps respecting it. And NL's not busting out anymore. Chris Wong feeling the pressure. Will use the level 3.
And he's in burnout here, so it's going to give him a little bit more time. But now NL, as long as he's able to defend here, has a huge advantage. He's been getting the back throws in these situations before. Can he find it again? And trying to walk forward, gets stuffed right in the chin. Let's see. Burnout now done.
Very close to putting a W on the board here. He needs it. Catches the startup of the Sandblast. Forces a round 3 here.
And meter advantage. NL always seems to have the meter advantage in these last rounds. Still set point. Can NL clutch it out? Are we going to a game 5?
This is so scary, man. Both players playing real discipline on defense. Does catch him with the Hezi light string, though.
Just staggering it out, the counter hits, knowing that NL wants to bust out.
He started to finally recognize that NL's not just busted out the ODDPs anymore. He gets the meaty throw. See how NL responds going forward, though.
No anti-air, the plus frames, and no bust out on that side. The backdash with no punish, but the backdash right back at you, but no perfect confirm. Oh, the plus frame's not able to connect in time. No burnout, though. Chris Wong staying alive, about to build that last bar, too, which means another level 1 will be there to reverse. Double perfect parry. It's not enough.
Oh, the whip punish was so clean from Chris Wong. He's going to cash out. Give me that level 1, force the final game, and he does just that.
We're going to game 5. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Chris Wong showing the resilience after the reset, after everything, and it comes down to one final game. Live and die by the ODDP. We weren't seeing it from NL there. Back to the drawing board. Do we reset to level 1? Are we going back to layer 1? Or are we on layer 10? Let's see. In the final game of Asia East Grand Finals, NL versus Chris Wong. One gets Capcom Cup qualification, and one spells sweet defeat, and he does it. And it's not working out early.
The safe jump right there gets respected, but the frame trap, that was a crouch fear starter on the frame trap. Huge damage here.
Oh, the safe jump, empty jump low, and a perfect NL again, dude.
After conditioning him with a perfect or a safe jump, goes with the empty jump low on the follow-up sequence. So smart.
Not like this. If it ends with a double perfect, I'm going to absolutely lose it. Chris Wong taking the throws, and the back up finally gets him out. Just had a little bit more corner space to work with. Staying alive, Chris Wong.
You have some damage left on the table there after the perfect flash didn't connect. Oh, but the drive rush, perfect parry punish.
Block on the overheads have been so consistent. He found the pocket in between, got the counter hit, gives him a little less pressure to deal with. The jump in is so deep. The legs all on the dome piece. You cannot mess with the cap. Misses the perfect.
No perfect flash knuckle means no level 3 for NL.
One touch, one hit confirmed. Does it though? This might be it. Chris Wong slowly inching forward.
And NL, a raw level 3 on a fireball kills Chris Wong here as well, so he cannot sandblast for free.
And that's what you see in buffering. Now the throw comes out in burnout. You got to keep this pressure going. No drive impact just yet. About to be out of burnout. The jump back, and that is it. NL from losers, able to defeat everyone in the 3-2. Chris Wong was not enough, and NL is your champion. Asia East CPT 2023. I cannot wait to see him at Capcom Cup.
Waves, no sleeves, gold hoop earrings, melanin. What I'm describing right now is Brian F. in a 12th grade back in Miami high school.
That's
Brian.
Exactly. It's crazy how you described me to a T. I was nodding my head the whole time there.
You ain't know that I knew that.
I knew exactly where you were going with this.
See? You ain't know that I knew. Bro, you my dog, man. It's my job to know these things. What's going on with you, Brian? We have a brand new episode. I asked you how you doing, and then I cut you off. We got a brand new episode. It's about to be a good day, Brian.
Let's get to it. Brand new episode. Listen, you guys had a lot of fun with this last time. We got to do it again. We got to go with the rest of the cast.
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk a little bit about what does your main say about you. That's what I want to get into today. We covered a lot of the characters, but we didn't hit all of them. So I know you people are watching the video. You're skipping to the next section to see if you mentioned your main. Well, that's going to be in this video. We got you covered. And first one, what are we going to start with here, Rob?
Okay, so the characters we've already covered so far is, of course, sadly, we had to talk about E-Honda players. Damn shame. We did E-Honda, JP, Ryu, Zangief players, and we did DJ and Blanca. So I think today, can we just start off with the Marisas, man? I feel like it's a fair. Okay, so first, let's list a couple of Marisa players there's a few Marisa players we know. Not that we're talking about y'all particularly, but
right now, to me, Marisa, for a lot of people, is where they end up when their previous relationship wasn't working out. That's kind of where people are going. It's kind of like,
Marisa the rebound.
right. Pretty much. They're like, you know what? Listen, I'm tired of doing that heavy lifting in this relationship. I want to be carried.
Yes.
And they hit up the muscle mommy and say, please carry me across that finish line. And that's what Marisa players are all about. Because look, the Marisa players, they want to get one hit and then have that be the beginning of the freight train that is the Marisa Oki into command grab versus frame trap into 70% damage machine. So they want that one hit to just turn into the win every single time.
You dancing around something important, Brian. You saying facts, but they steal. Like in real life, Marisa players steal. In my humble opinion, they go to the store and they got the hair products or whatever it may be locked behind a glass case. That's because of Marisa players exclusively. Stop stealing. Be a decent human being.
Stealing rounds and then taking it to the real life.
Just stealing rounds.
First, I thought you were talking about the helmet hair. They used up too much product, so.
Oh yeah, it could be. They just stole too much of it. They got a surplus.
She used it on that helmet hair. I don't know.
And also, I think Marisa players, Brian, they like to post thirst traps on Twitter. You know what I mean? They like to go and get shirtless. They get their hair wet, curly hair all wet, put the glasses on. Sometimes they take the glasses off. And they go ahead and just pose, showing their abs.
And spread their wings a little bit.
You gotta do the lat spread, Brian. You gotta do the lat spread with it and everything.
There you go. Well, moving on from the Marisas. Maybe going along with that thievery mindset, let's talk about the Manon players.
Dumb.
What are they?
Manon, why you? Come on. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Adon, hey, she gone, bruh. Hey, there ain't no
Facts.
Laura is gone, bruh.
Facts.
And you need to accept it. Laura is gone. And what I'm telling you is it's time for you to start posting thirst traps and stealing. Okay.
Agreed. Yo, we're gonna see a selfie from Idom on Twitter, and then we're gonna know that he doesn't even have to announce the character change. We're gonna see a selfie for the first time ever, and I'm gonna understand. Not even just for Idom, just a simple selfie is enough of a thirst trap for his level. You get what I'm saying? Like he's just dipping his toes into the water. So and then we'll know. But yeah, Manon players is definitely lore retirements. Grounds right now. Every single player that picked Laura in Street Fighter V has gravitated towards Manon. And Mika to a degree. I mean, listen, we get it. She is the closest we've got right now to like a Street Fighter V style vortexy grappler. Like she doesn't even have the same Oki as a Street Fighter V grappler. But it's not hitting quite the same, I feel like, because she has these graceful moves. She's a ballerina, but the way she plays in practice, nah.
It ain't
trying to be
man.
graceful.
Make it make sense, bro. Y'all gotta accept it's a new era. It's a new time. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Patches gonna come and all that. Different characters gonna drop. But at the end of the day, Laura was in Street Fighter V. Or Mika was in Street Fighter V. Manon is not the reincarnation of those characters.
I think you also have to be a little bit of a degenerate gambler as well to play Manon. They're searching for that ultimate high when they finally get the level 5, and then every single interaction is just the biggest 50-50. You know, they're flipping that coin, and then they love it. And that's the dark side of playing Manon.
Okay, so now moving on. So we've done Marisa, we've done Manon. I know y'all knew we was gonna come for y'all, man. The Dawson players. Now listen, the first thing that pops in my mind, none of this all freestyle, so this come from my soul. Y'all think y'all playing footsies. Y'all think y'all playing Street Fighter. Y'all doing something else. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying it's not impressive whatsoever, but y'all not playing the same game. I don't understand.
I disagree.
What? Explain.
They're playing honest footsies.
Bruh,
honest Street Fighter.
You troll it.
Listen, as a JP main, I now have to fully switch teams here and be on the Dawson player side. Look, maybe a year ago my perspective was a little bit different, but I'm a reformed man now. When you press Fierce Punch and it covers 3/4 of the screen, to me, that's footsies.
That's nooch.
That's nooch. You got whiff punished. What can I say? I'm sorry. You got outplayed in that moment.
Is crazy. That being nooch is OD.
Well, you know.
I don't know why they think that, man. And then they play, and then they rush you down and everything nowadays, bro. I mean, and taking it outside of just gameplay, bro. You're weird. Dawson players are not the most. What's the nice word for weird? Eclectic.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, Dawson players are eclectic, man. You know, like y'all just got a little something else going on, man. I don't think y'all ever put on a regular pair of drawers in your life. I think
see them in the office.
You got feathers on your underwear or something like that. You know,
they always have a whole binder full of shuffled papers of all their lab notes, and they're running around to the next their next lab session. You know, and their disheveled, their shirts buttoned all. You know, they're missing. Their buttons on their shirt, you know.
Yes.
Of course, that's because they're too busy in the lab. I think that's the other type of Dawson player, is that they just want to put in as much work as possible to feel like their cranium is, you know, squeezing the edges of their skull, and they can't even fit their own brain in their own head. That's what gets them going. Because when they press that medium punch and it hits you from full screen and it stops you from drive rushing in, they think, yes, I have clearly outsmarted my opponent in this situation, and I've outplayed them in every conceivable way possible. And
they get
that's what gets them going.
That.
They want to deny the other person the chance to have fun. That's literally what, I mean, let's be honest. Dawson is designed to stop everyone else from playing the game. Has been for a long time.
Yeah, because if you were, imagine a child picking up Street Fighter. Why would, they're not picking Dawson. They're not about to have fun with that unless they're going to grow up to be eclectic. See, Brian? See how I come full circle like that?
Yeah, tied it all together.
Kimberly players, bro. Let's go ahead to the Kims. Okay.
I think the Kimberly players just they chug too many energy drinks, and they just want to press as many buttons as possible, keep the APM as high as possible, and that's why you play Kimberly. I can't imagine another reason why you want to play Kim besides the fact that you love the sound of your own buttons being pressed, and you want to find the character that lets you press the most number of buttons as possible. Even though you're doing like 5% damage per interaction. Like, she doesn't hit hard, she just hits fast and frequently, right? So I think you want to feel like you're winning, even though after like doing all these setups, getting like 15 tick throws in a row, and run overhead, then you get hit once and die. You know, she's that character so that you can feel like you're doing a lot of work, and then, you know, so a Marisa comes through and reminds you.
And reminds you the order of things.
Yeah, you're trying to box the freight train right here. You get a few good licks in, and then you're reminded about the firepower.
Out of the whole cast, a Kimberly player might be the most likely to bungee jump. Like, you might think, a Blanca player, but no. Blanca is so far off the deep end. Blanca players, they like to act crazy, but they ain't really trying to. Kimberly players, I think, are decidedly, like, they would be in like the X Games or something like that, bro. You know,
I can see it.
On the half pipe or something like that. Let's do one more of these, Brian. Oh, maybe even two. One or two. Kim players. I think Kim players are actually the jocks of the Street Fighter 6 high school.
I'm glad you're being nice right now, because this is 70% of our audience.
Yeah, I think they are like it depends on how you take it. But I think they're like they're the quarterback. They got the Letterman on, the cheerleader likes them and stuff like that. They're pushing the Dawson players into the lockers. as they walk down the hallways. You know Dawson players getting stuff in the locker, bro. Let's keep it a buck. Kim players
that Dragon
definitely
Lash puts them right into it. Just
yeah, Dragon Lash into the locker. Sit down and shut up.
shut up.
In the lunchroom, Tater Talk's falling out of his pocket. Yeah, man. Like I definitely think they kind of got like the cool about them and everything. But I don't think that they're automatically not. Listen, Kim players, respectfully, I don't think that y'all necessarily the brightest, but that's not meant as disrespect. I'm not saying that you made the smart decision of being a Kim player, so that says a lot in itself. But yeah, I don't think Kim players are the biggest lab monster type dudes, Brian.
They're successful without even realizing why they're successful. You know, you can't ask them to break down exactly why they got there.
They might even
hey
be
man,
some
how'd
of
you
them
find all
Nepo babies.
this success? You know, oh yeah, I ate my Wheaties in the morning and I drink a big glass of milk. You know?
Yes.
Don't ask them to break down how or why they got to that position, but they're finding the success for sure.
Kim players be downplaying though. They do be downplaying, bro.
I have no official comment on downplay.
Yeah.
I'll let you speak to this.
But yeah, I definitely think that since, JP, everybody talking about JP, Kim players be kind of sneaking in there like, yeah, man, actually. Like, bro, you shut up. All right?
No. Speaking of, actually, I think that's a good segue to the next one because we're going to talk about the Guile players here. The Guile players are seeing the chaos all going around them.
Yeah.
And they're chilling, holding down back.
Yes.
No one is pointing a finger. No one is talking about them. They're just sitting there chucking their booms, doing their flash kicks, and for some reason everyone else is fighting while they're winning all our tournaments.
That's a great point. And you know what? I'm going to say about Guile players, man, you're boring. So yeah, who the most exciting Guile player to you? Personality-wise. Can you hear me, Brian?
Yes.
I'm dead.
Next question.
You out of pocket. You wrong.
Hey, I was trying to think of an answer. I'm stalling for time here.
Bro, I thought our connection. You
I'm
out of
stalling for time here, man.
Bro, they boring, bro. Y'all Guile players, y'all good people, you nice guys, bro. You can come to my wedding.
I think the thing is, if you're too exciting playing Guile, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem. There's definitely exciting Guile players out there on the planet. It's just, they get filtered out. You're supposed to be a little bored with it.
It ain't gonna work. Damn, Guile is actually our last one. Yeah, bro. So there it go. Y'all asked for it, bro. We seen the comments. Y'all's hyped up. Y'all love the first video. There you go. That's part 2. If y'all want the rest of the characters on the roster, just let us know and we'll get around to it. But right now, we're about to get to Brian. Is one of the best regions, if not the best region in the world. Central America East. We already know what's about to happen, and only 8 of these players left are going to make it into finals day. They are trying to punch their ticket in the Capcom Cup. $2 million on the line. Let's get a top 16.
Time to work, time to work. When inhaled, coriamyrtin blocks the gamma-aminobutyric acid receptors in the central nervous system, causing spasmodic muscle contractions.
Master, it's a work of art! It's perfect!
What to do with you now? So, shall we put him out of his misery? Time for some experimentation. I bet poison would work wonders on you. I wouldn't move if I were you. Poison's on the menu. I'm finished with you. How infantile. I have you. doing now. Here, there, then here, and... My magnum opus! Is my poison kicking in?
Street Fighter 6. He was obsessed, you see, with finding an appropriate vessel for this power.
Fight with all your heart!
We are supporting Capcom Cup 10 with a total prize pool of over $2 million.
It's showtime, baby! Guano takes it over Idol!
All right, you ready?
You don't want to miss it! Let him go! Look at the damage! Look at that damage!
Now's not the time for jokes.
Your two-time Capcom Cup champion! It's Meta RD!
Now it's time for the CPT Central America East tournament to begin. Top 16, we've whittled it down, and at the end of this week, we're going to crown another champion and move on to the finals in just a few months. My name is St. Cola. I'm joined by my boy Vicious. Let's get into this, dog. We've got a lot of cats coming through, a lot of heat. Who are you excited most to see out here?
You know, it's been kind of back and forth in terms of the fluctuating results from the last World Warrior event that we had seen. Most of it I've seen through social media. I actually haven't been able to catch up with everything because there's been so many different World Warrior events. But here we are for Central America East. And just looking at our top 16 overall, we're not going to show you the bracket just yet. We have so much to talk about. There are so many different contenders that can easily make it and break it through into Capcom Cup, specifically within this region. Again, this is technically the land of the champions, if you really think about it, right? We have the Dominican Republic being a part of this current region. So that's a lot to think about. There's a lot of talented cats out here. We're about to get into it today.
That's true. You know, going down the list of players that we saw in these brackets, obviously Kava's out here. Mono is out here. Ajax Fidelity, the one that took the top spot at the World Warrior event for their region just recently. I think it was like 2 weeks ago with that jury. And there's even more in store. Louis Man is on that sim play to today. So again, you know, you mentioned the land of champions. This is Minardi's homeland right here. And the energy that he had brought from winning his CPT has been emboldening these cats, these players out here, man. It's not just in the Dominican Republic. You know, Puerto Rico has been emboldened by the likes of Mono, who's been fantastic TO, and also just a representation of you know, that scene just in general, you know, emboldening other players like Ajax Fidelity and just the other regions in that area. They're all super strong. We've seen them also work in other brackets online, TNS, Casa, and things like that with this great netcode.
Consistently,
consistent.
too.
That's also a really good point. Consistently showing up, which is a very imperative point, because I feel like these cats, if they come through, even in the other brackets or even the CPT finals, will still make work on your favorite competitors.
Yeah, they're emboldened for a very good reason as well. Not only to become the best player that they can be, but also for this big prize pool coming up for Capcom Cup. But even on top of that, we still have a decent amount of change to give out during every CPT. With $5,000 on the line, you get to enter for free and compete at the comfort of your own home. Damn, that's cool. $2,500 going to the lion's share of first place. Second place getting $1,200. Third place getting $800. Still pretty damn good. Fourth place, $500 as well. Listen, man, at the cost of being good, this is a pretty good prize pool.
Definitely really good, but what's really good is at the end, at the very end, $1 million sits in total for first place. But hey, the total prize pool is over $2 million. That's right, over $2 million in totality. Y'all could do your translations over for your other regions, but I know that equals a lot no matter where you're at. First place getting $1 million is absolutely insane, and these competitors this week will be taking a step closer and closer towards that $1 million.
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what other countries where would the 1 million not actually equate to $1 million? The only thing I'm thinking about is probably like maybe the pound, perhaps the euro, perhaps where it's slightly less. But either way, that's a lot of money, man. Yeah. Like, you're a millionaire in the States. That's pretty dang good. You could go pretty much anywhere here. But at the same time, you know, this is where it really comes together. We're starting to see more and more of this talent, more of the meta start to develop. And it's only been how many months since the game was released, right? Since
4, I think.
Just about, right? And it's in a very interesting place thus far. We have people talking about perfect parries. We have people talking about the current meta of Ken and JP. These are the prime two suspects that have been taking it in a lot of the games. When we actually take a look at the bracket, though, hopefully production can work their magic. We do have, obviously, those two repeated criminals coming up, but at the same time, some characters that you haven't really seen as much. But taking a look at the winners quarterfinals, who do we have starting things off?
Kama versus Mono as our first banger match of the day. Joshi after that versus St. Fox. That's going to be a Ryu, actually, versus Ken. And Ajax Fidelity, the champion of the very first World Warrior tournament, and also just a very good player in general, going up against another young gun out there, Jimmy DR on the Marisa, and then, of course, anything's out, G-Roy on the JP, and Brian D on the Guile. What's next after this?
Yeah, taking a look at the bottom portion of it, it's still going to be killers nonetheless. Clivis 105 versus Texto. That's going to be Luke versus Blanca. Texto, I actually been wanting to see how he's been performing overall because this is my first time really getting to see him in the CPT and actually taking a look at his history. I was doing a little bit of research prior to the stream actually starting. That Blanca looks kind of dangerous. Then we have HDCM with that Guile versus Solid Paha hands. I want to say it's Paha, right? Because, the J is kind of silent, I'd imagine. So Paha hands. That's going to be the jury play. Louis Man. That's our boy coming in with Dawson as well versus Joker, who's also been killing it in the World Warrior Series. That's going to be Dawson versus Jury. And then to finalize the entirety of our lower side, it's going to be Edward Ting versus Balance Jean. That's going to be DJ versus Ken. Now, Edward Ting, he had actually finished 13th over at the World Warrior, too.
A lot of fantastic action. A lot of variety, too, as well. The fact that we get to see Ryu up in these brackets, Jury exercise quite a bit, too, as well. And, of course, the problem children that are JP and Ken will be coming through as well. But, Blanca, Luke, there's a lot of variety just in general. I feel like when people talk about how there's not that much, it's just like the JP and Ken show, I think that's wrong. You look at the different regions. At the top spots, it's always, to me, it seems like it's a variety of characters. If it's not, obviously the top tier characters you see, like over in Japan, we saw Hibiki, the Beast, winning a tournament that included Korea and stuff like that with the Lily. Over here, we do have Lumen on the Sim, which is a kind of a rare character, but even in Japan, that's not so rare over there for Street Fighter League. So I think there's a lot of variety. You'll be seeing that here in these brackets.
Yeah, I feel like that's just been the topic of conversation for the most part in regards to like the scene as a whole, right? A lot of people are really emphasizing some of the strengths that Ken and JP has. But I think it was Ending Walker who had mentioned that everybody has a way to kind of like take some of these W's, right? A lot of these characters are viable. Actually, all the characters are viable.
Yeah.
It's just your tool set is not going to grant you the single hit opening that leads into your bully mode, your offense mode in comparison to other characters. They just work in a different way. And it's granted a little bit harder, but I think it's kind of accurate. Yeah, I think a lot of these characters are very much so viable. And you're going to see that today in our top 16, right? We talked about the plethora of different characters, like seeing a Dawson here, seeing even more of a Marisa present here as well. I mean, obviously, you know about Big Bird. I mean, who doesn't know about Big Bird? But really, like a Marisa being that consistent in the top 16 is something we always look forward to because we want to see some health bars melt.
Yes.
And what's funny is, looking at all the other CPTs, how often have we seen a Guile in a top 8?
As a CPT, not too often, actually. Maybe in like the TNSs and things like that, the Casas you see. But I mean, these are the same cats that you would see out here, And speaking of that, Kaba coming up the deck versus Mono, one of the most consistent Guiles, if not most consistent players, especially in the early days of Street Fighter 6, like just always in a top 8 spot minimum, if not winning tournaments. Nowadays, he's still winning tournaments. He's still getting those top 8 spots, if not top 3, but the competition's gotten harder, but that just shows how good that he is to still be consistently up there. We'll be going up against Mono, who is on the DJ. Unfortunately, Aki is not out. I know he's looking forward to that character, but his DJ is still fantastic, though. Like, you can't count him out with that DJ play.
His DJ is actually kind of nice. Like, this is a different level of Mono that I was not really expecting, because this guy, he's been bodying people with this DJ. I'm watching your CFN, man. I'm stealing some of your tech as well. But looking into the matchup at hand, right, it's going to be Kaba versus Mono right out the gate. That's actually a tough coin toss, because obviously these guys are pretty much brethren. These guys have played a bunch of games against each other. But yeah, these I feel like, in my opinion, these have to be the top 2 seeds of this bracket.
They are, but recently Ajax Fidelity, we'll get to him a little bit later, has been showing something different. But I agree in terms of that top 2 spot, when people would typically think of results, like not just recently, but overall, these two cats out here have been doing work. Kaba, we've seen him obviously doing work in Street Fighter 6, but before this, he did work out in 5. Mono though, Evo Japan top 8, won CEO previously, doing work out and getting top 8 in his own tournament that he ran at First Attack, which is wild that he TO'd and played
these
at
TOs,
the high level,
man. TOs
high
winning their
level
own
too.
tournaments. Come on, brother. But yeah, you can see the age disparity. Doesn't really matter for these two gentlemen because, again, they play like professionals no matter what age they're in. But I gotta say, man, it's been very impressive to see Kaba, the way that he's been flexing with this Guile, improving ever so often, and also event after event. He's been the Guile to watch, in my opinion, on top of, Knuckle Dew as well, right? These two have been going back and forth like crazy in terms of results. I don't even know who's actually the better one at this point. It would actually be a coin toss.
It would be.
Like, I can't choose between Kaba and Knuckle Dew. It's really difficult. But at this moment, man, Kaba versus Mono, Mono's DJ, it's looking so good. Let's take a look at what they had to say to each other prior to the matchup. I'm sure nothing but great things as we start off with Kaba. It always feels good to play against my brothers from Puerto Rico. Much love to all of them. Good luck, Monillo.
Ooh, that was familiar right there. I love that love. All right, let's see what Mono has to say. Mono says, looking forward to it and hope to play versus my good friends from the Caribbean and put on a show. Now, they're friends off the sticks. When they get hands on the sticks, it's hands on the man, all right? They definitely get violent with it. But that's the way to play. They're competitors through and through no matter what, all right? But off the sticks, they're friendly, they're kind. But, man, when they get down to it, it's going to be no pleasantries for this bout right here. The first match of the day, Kaba versus Mono. And it's wild to even say Kaba versus Mono is our first match of the day.
I'm excited for it, man. There's a giant smile on my face because of the fact that we finally get to see these regions clash. Now, a lot of prospects have been coming out of the DR, but also from the PR. I feel like these two regions specifically have been really putting out a lot of talent, like Ajax Fidelity having his shining moment over at Street Fighter League last season. We're still starting to see a lot of these cats get into that boot camp mode and finally get that shot, that moment to really, really emphasize how good they actually are. All the training that they've had in Street Fighter V, transitioning into a new game, being able to keep all those fundamentals intact and also applying it to a new game is really, really important, right? That's where we start to see who actually wants it the most. We actually get to see who is doing their homework prior to the new game coming out, because that's really important, right? Yeah. So I do like the community leaders also backing some of the newer players. Like, obviously we have Kaba being a veteran of the game, Mena RD also putting up like an entire academy essentially for some of the players over in DR. Mono is also doing that exact same thing, right? Being able to hold some of these locals and breed some of these champions out of their regions is really, really important. So we'll see how this one plays out specifically, right? It's going to be Mono versus Kaba. Game 1 here at CPT for Central America East. Here we go.
What's wild is that, I've seen Crossover actually talk about this and his friends talk about this matchup. He has actually been going to DJ to fight Guile because he doesn't feel like Ken can really do the work. And we'll see what happens here. What do you think about this matchup? You play DJ. What do you do when you see a Guile up on the screen?
I actually don't fear the fireballs as much as DJ, but it's this range right here. When it comes to mid-range, I feel like Guile is doing a little bit more than DJ would like to, right? A lot of DJs, they want to kind of go for the frame traps majority of the time to kind of enforce the pressure and keep the guessing game going. But those single hits can also lead to so much against DJ, right? Kaba absolutely knew it, right? It's weird, like hit and run style for DJ. Guile can kind of do the same thing with like Sobots and no medium kicks, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like Guile's is a little bit better.
It definitely is. I think it's a little bit more, I guess the best way to put it is like stable, maybe especially with the mid-range. And you have to be careful with the buttons that you put out, even more so on the side of DJ. Impactable buttons, nice jump in the call on the fireball, ends it with the flash kick up in the corner.
Yeah, one thing to mention is Guile, his fireball game is far superior to DJ's. That is for certain.
Yeah, I feel like DJ's fireball is like more like a setup tool more than like a fireball, depending on some of the matchups and things like that. We discussed that in Street Fighter League. We're seeing it right here. Impact. There we go. That's Splat. Get that just cool pickup, but did not find the fault with the Sobat.
I think he primarily used that as a frame kill to throw Kaba off. Dashing up, forward throw. You get the dash up again for pressure. It's going to be fake Sobat. No! He could have maybe hit him. That's difficult. Mono wasn't expecting it. You know what's crazy too? He backed up to bait Kaba into whatever he wanted to do. But still, like after he got that bait, he wasn't within range to get a punish. I don't even think Fierce would have been able to connect. So
Fierce wouldn't work?
I don't know. Maybe he walked too far.
Run the distance. Got to trust yourself. Stay close. Stay personal with it. First one to Kaba. These are first to twos all the way through till tomorrow.
Oh no! What was that?
Oh no for Kaba. Stay solid as soon as he lands.
Not the machine gun up there.
Oh, that would have hit them a lot of damage. Drive rushing in. Flash kick, 4-piece. Nice meaty boom. You see the first gonna get the extra, but did not find the Stampeders right after though. Straight throw. Back heavy kick.
Oh, that was sick! Still gets connect after that. That was a really huge sequence for Mono, but then this is the kind of spacing, again, that Guile is going to be superior at, setting up the Sonic Blade, moving up a little bit. And I like how he moves forward with the special normals instead of actually walking forward, so he maintains his charge.
He's one of the most active Guile players. I feel like he's always been like that, utilizing the normals to kind of scoot forward, make his movement a little bit more ambiguous. Nice challenge. The counter caught him coming in. Press his button a little bit quicker. And Kaba about to dominate this match on set point.
Just getting past the fireballs is one of the biggest detriments right now for Mono, I think. You know, I talked about it earlier. I don't mind the Sonic Booms, but at the same time, it's a different caliber when it's Kaba's Sonic Booms.
Oh, yeah, the variants too as well. You know, the perfect, the normals. The OD addition too as well. On the jump in, gets a throw. Dragon suplex. Rushes in, but OD DP ready. You typically do against Drive Rush. You have those DPs charged. The jackknife on point. Empty low though. Kaba blowing up his defense.
And I like how you attempt to try to perfect parry the jump in, which is something that a lot of people have been doing in the meta currently, but Kaba 2 steps ahead with the empty jump. You know, that could have been a misinput for a flash kick. It could have been just not enough charge. What a juggle. Oh, it's too far. I was afraid of that, yeah. I wondered if he was in the corner to get that. But.
Not close enough. Now Kaba goes for that kill right there. Flash kick, one more hit will into level 3. Damn near anything at this point. Don't stick out a lid. Perfect parry, drive rushes in with the medium, gets a throw right after.
You spin the bar? Yeah, you spin the bar, that's the counter hit! Oh, but it's not going to be enough. He didn't have any bar behind it, no super behind it, I should say, because he had no meter. That could have been a huge game changer. Kaba still sitting on a full critical art as well. A little bit of drive gauge building up now with the advantage.
Surprise out to the anti-air. OD. Yeah, no drive rush for it. Did not want to waste that bar. Impact is able to get the kill in the clip. That's it. Kaba 2-0 over Mono.
I forget, it's only 2-game territory. First to 2 wins. Here in the top 16, that's kind of rough, man, but that was a smart decision. Obviously, when we talk about the options to go for drive impact in certain scenarios, when the opponent doesn't have any life left, obviously that's like one of the more opportune times to go for the drive impact. They can't reversal drive impact. They have to do a parry or even block, but it's tough, man. That was a really good call from Kaba either way. It happened to catch the Sobot kick, which is one of the things that I'm so afraid of doing as a DJ player is like if I get too predictable with Sobot kick, there's a lot of recoveries behind it. So if they just randomly throw out drive impact, I'm kind of screwed. Same thing applies for like roundhouses from DJs, standing medium kicks as well. Even the forward medium kick to kind of like keep plus pressure, but that's tough. It's a really tough call.
It's going to be tough right there for Mono as he moves down the losers bracket. He's not done yet. He's got one more go. See if we can make it in tomorrow. But that's Kaba moving on to top 8 right there. In style, definitely knew what to do with that matchup. Very dominant. There was a few execution errors. I hope that he cleans up later on. I'm sure him being the caliber player that he is, he'll understand, hey, that was a win, but that's not the win I want. So he'll practice that and get that ready prepared for tomorrow.
No, I agree. He's definitely going to clean it up. I think one of the big errors that he had was not being able to charge enough for a flash kick, but that was, I mean, that's,
You clean that up.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, that's an easy thing to
You'll totally be fine after that. The way he played, I think he had the right ideas and the right strategies against DJ specifically. It was really up to Mono also to not have some of these errors. I think it was Mono who had the significant ones, like trying to use machine gun upper in a situation where I don't know where he wanted to utilize it, right? I'd imagine maybe he was in a crouching position trying to back up and use like maybe Fierce as an anti-air and probably rolled it over into quarter circle back. But other than that, I mean, like there's still another chance for Mono, so we'll see how that plays out. Kaba making it into top 8. Hochi versus Sane Fox is going to be coming up next, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Hochi, he has been the guy that we've been watching for years now, I feel like. And it was cool to actually finally meet him at one of the events. But yeah, he's going to be rocking Ken. Sane Fox, apparently he's going to be using Cami. So he was Cami and Ryu. I don't know if that Ryu is going to come into play, but Cami is, I think, a pretty good choice here.
Yeah, I think either or are going to be a good choice. I think Cami maybe a little bit stronger in the neutral, just in the matchup, disallowing the fireball pressure with those spin knuckles. So that's one thing, a poke off the table for Ken. But we'll see how Hochi approaches that. And we'll just get right into the match. One thing I want to see is like if there is going to be that switch, what's going to happen? You know, if that switch needs to come through, because I've seen Sane Fox on the Ryu on a few matches on YouTube. I kind of watched that. Haven't really seen the Cami. I wonder if it's up to par enough to fight someone that's been kind of mainlining Ken this entire time.
I think that's always going to be like a fair assessment or like a fair question to ask is like how good is your secondary or tertiary going to be in comparison to somebody who's been maining the character out the gate, right?
Right.
But that's the thing. I feel like with Cami, with the way that she's been developed by some of the leading Cami players, aka Punk, like the top of the charts in regards to Cami play. I think it doesn't take too long to kind of figure out how the gameplay is supposed to be played. It's just a matter of how to play against the player now, right? So I think I would definitely leave it up to St. Fox to be confident enough, especially with his positioning right now in top 16 winner side. He's got to be feeling the utmost confidence, especially with this character. In comparison to Ryu, I feel like Ryu, he can dish out the damage, but there's just, I don't know, man. Like, it feels like he's a little bit too linear.
Yeah, I think that like the fireball pressure is difficult for Ken to kind of surpass all the time, but it doesn't lead to too much. And the damage that can be dumped out from Ryu is great, but like the normals don't feel like they're as strong against the likes of Ken. And Ken can route this back from the quickness at any point. All it takes is a Dragon Lash. All it takes is corner carry. Might be seeing that on the side of the Ken play right here. Okay, versus Ken. Already off to a round start with the quickness, spiral arrow with the Oki. There's that dive kick. Yeah, you know how to play Cami. Deep dish with the dive kick right at the knees, right below the feet.
Especially in the corner where they're not allowed to move. It's really difficult to even try to kind of anti-air that. But after the 2 lights, it's a whole different story. But we talked about the Dragon Lash being a huge game changer. Yeah. Stand blocking too, so going to be plus no matter what. Yeah, Hochi is looking. He's looking to bring back Cami to the corner. And St. Fox knew it, right? He's still playing at this. Ooh. No conversion.
Drop on the front of Hochi too as well. Throw arrow, meaty with it, call the counter hit. Oh, drops on both sides. Could lead to so much for Cami. That's an access to Oki that you just don't have anymore. You want to end things with spiral arrow. Spiral lights are so dangerous.
Oh, you're dead.
Lane dangerous. The whip punch against a stand heavy kick. Spin to win.
Yeah, I think St. Fox initially after that drop, I think he had enough to kill Raw. He had a level 1 in the tank just in case, but him getting the first round against Hochi, we're starting to see like how hard it is to really approach Cami, right?
Simple. That fireball pressure that you'd like to have is like kind of off the table. Like you have to be like very close to do that, but now finds the crouching mini kick, run DP up in the corner.
One throw. You can do it again if you wanted to.
It's
got to be a meaty, right?
Oh, you're right. Stand fierce. Hella active button.
Yeah, this is really tough to get out of. Just this exact sequence is why a lot of folks have been talking about this character, man. There's a lot of instances where if you're stuck in the corner and forced to guess more often than not, you're not going to be able to play the game, and that's tough, man. Big jump in against the fireball. Exactly what St. Fox needed. Here comes the pressure. No, sir. It's going to be a swift throw against Hochi. Now, Hochi's going to be bringing it back little by little, right? He's going to force St. Fox to the corner despite having the deficit. It's the drive rush fierce that connects to the chin, and this is going to be the great equalizer. And I do mean that, right? It's going to be life advantage, significant damage to the drive gauge. You just need one sequence to potentially put St. Fox in burnout, and you're in full control.
Has him over the corner, right where he wants him. Would he fireball, trying to kill that drive gauge as much as possible, whatever he can do on block, but doesn't want to be too obvious about it. Yeah, no Dragon Lash like that. Does get the throw. ODDP immediately lets that rip. Do anything possible, but there's the impact against the Dragon Lash. He can't do that. They're looking for that option. Level 3.
Sick. That was actually so sick. So what's really interesting now is St. Fox can technically set up for the Hooligan frame traps. He has the life lead. Hochi doesn't have meter. He could set up easily. Yes, sir. Either way, St. Fox making sure to kill with the drive rush forward pressure into the drive impact. So smart because, again, there was a big 0 on the bottom of Hochi's bar. He wasn't able to use an invincible reversal.
Sorry for Ryu fans, but it looks like the Cami is working out just fine for the side of St. Fox.
The distance. Forward throw. Dash up as well. Checking the lows too. I do like this, but perfect parry. We're not going to go for the side switch. We're going to go for the damage, but more so I think the meter acquisition is so important for Cami.
True. Drive rush throw though. Dash up, gets a counter. Only goes for the throw. Doesn't want to commit to anything. He's starting committing to some of these normals like crushing the kick and the drive rush. Oh, no. Maybe not like that. Maybe on hit, not on block.
You
Might
jinxed
drop.
it. You jinxed it.
My bad.
Low medium kick into the full-on Tatsu. That's unsafe. Highly punishable. Excuse me. Not even just unsafe. Checking the lows too. Very dangerous position for sure. Yeah, that drive rush could have been a big opener for St. Fox coming on in, especially if it was a connected low four, but the roundhouse is going to be doing it, just keeping Hochi at bay. And I love this, the stable gameplay of just walking him down. Up until that point, the counter conversion from Hochi, finesse. I love it.
I thought he was going to be walked to the corner and put down to the ground, but that was all part of the plan. Hochi staying solid. This that classic Shoto play that we've known him for years upon years. Ryu, Akuma, and things like that. Drive rush throw. Here we go. Enact that corner pressure over and over again. More of these drive rush situations off of like light throw, strike throw, continuously from the side of Hochi.
It's hard to get out of, man. Sometimes you have to guess. Oh, and the low forward, man. Both these characters have that exact tool that could lead to so much, but man, I gotta say, St. Fox, I think he's been able to land it a little bit more than Hochi has. Hochi's been throwing out a lot of hits that were counter hits as well. Yeah, he's starting to understand exactly when St. Fox wants to press a button or wants to back up. It's been very interesting to see this exchange. Hochi's getting a lot of these counter hits on St. Fox.
Back to in the corner, what we saw this before. Hochi was fine with this. Watch on the shimmy. Nobody home. Not yet, though.
He's relying on St. Fox to press the button where he shouldn't. And there we go. We got the big footsies play. Punish counter, low forward against. What was that, the crouching short from Cami?
This should be almost over.
You're big living still.
For how long? Drive impact might be a little bit difficult to do. You might have enough health to drive impact and goes for the Dragon Lash, but it doesn't matter.
Oh. That's one throw. Attacking the drive gauge with the roundhouse. Hopefully Hochi doesn't run into it. He doesn't want to sacrifice any more life with that.
St. Fox.
Oh, he still got the counter. He snuck a jab in there. Yo, you have to go for level.
Oh, he does it.
I thought you were going to go for level 3 for burnout.
Came with a fireball, though. Not that, like, medium range. That CA will hit. Oh, he fireball.
I think he still has enough to absorb a drive impact. Don't throw it. Don't even test it. Oh,
that rode the Jin ride.
What happens if he? What is there a gap? Because you're in burnout at that point. Is there a gap for you to like throw in a reversal super?
Because normally you'd be able to like ODDP, but for super, I'm not sure.
I forget what the gap is. I don't think there is with burnout, but I'm not going to confidently say that there is. Right? So we'll see. We'll see. I'd have to double check that in burnout. Oh boy.
Nice catch. Challenge on the drive rush. ODDP immediately. It backs outside that distance for the spin knuckle to get clipped instead heavy kick. Oh, the Dragon Lash.
Dirty man.
You really thought Hella Meaty was going to catch the throw attack. Either way, but the back dash is the play and the side switch. Impact.
That's so meaty.
Yo. Meat off the bone.
Oh, I love that switch. Oh, what? No, he just dashed under. I can't imagine what it was that St. Fox was thinking, but maybe he was like preemptively trying to dash. I don't know about dashing as a reaction to like a jump in, because that's tough, man.
Yeah, you already have like a sharp angle with the DP. Like, let that fly. Uh-oh. About to fly to the east side of the screen. DP, drive rush. Close range fireballs making it a little bit more ambiguous in terms of the button press. Does not get the Jin right fault. We'll get the throw, though.
That was the fake frame kill setup.
Wow.
Oh, nice and easy, too, off of the punish counter crouch jab. Hochi could have spent a little bit more on his plate. Doesn't even matter. Man, that was a very Ken-sided match. That was a Ken round for sure. Hochi moving on. Top 8.
Seeing some more Ken tomorrow, but fantastic play up in that corner position. I think that's obviously where Ken shines and where Hochi did as well, but he knew his game plan. Some errors on the side of St. Fox, walking underneath when he could have maybe went for a DP instead. That would have, even OD would have maybe let him outside the corner. I mean, we did see some great sequences, those crouching to kick confirms, but it's just these reads over and over again from the side of Hochi that we saw, like backing up a little bit, waiting for a whiff, getting a little bit too buttonsy with the stand heavy kick and things like that. And then the call-outs here were really good. Yeah, there were some good ones on the side of St. Fox looking for that bar, go for the drive impact in the level 3. But overall, Hochi's like idea of the corner pressure, and even if things weren't as optimal as they should be, it's okay. You're playing Ken, you have the stand fierce, you got the strike throw over and over again. You don't need much else than that if they're not responding to it.
I do like the wheel of options that Hochi presented on defense as well. Understanding when St. Fox wanted to try to throw buttons and kind of letting the stagger pressure really be like the cause of St. Fox's demise in the first game, right?
Yeah.
Or like the first couple of games. Then afterwards, as soon as Hochi established himself that W, I liked him switching it all the way onto offense, right? We saw that replay where he dashed up, did Dragon Lash to bait out a throw, and it succeeded.
Yeah.
Ever since that moment, I feel like St. Fox wasn't the same Fox, right? Just looking at the rounds like back-to-back of that particular game 3, it was lights out. So I do like the different aspects that Hochi presented on defense and also turning it all the way up on offense. It's really impressive.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. Be impressive to see who's going to win between him and Kaba tomorrow. We've seen that. We'll see if Kaba switches over. Well, he doesn't have to switch over. Kaba does good against Kim. What am I saying? What I'm also saying is that Ajak Fidelity is coming up against Jimmy DR. That's going to be Jury versus Marisa. And Marisa players, we've talked to Big Bird a few times about that matchup, and he's, I guess, found an answer in terms of like, hey, I just need to start off stronger, better, faster, smarter. Don't let her get going.
Okay.
That needs to be the $1 million Marisa, as it were. But honestly, that's the way you got to play when you play Marisa. You cannot let her get started. Can't let her get her Fuha stocks up. And you have to press before you get a press up in the corner, because this character has a great crouching medium punch that challenges everything you want to do with Superman punch. Her lows will blow up a lot of what Marisa wants to do too as well. Strike throw is nasty with the corner against Marisa on defense. So those things will be dangerous. And Ajak Fidelity, he is a nasty jury player. In the World Warrior tournament, he was landing drive rush combo, and then he would sneak in overheads every so often to reset the damage and continue to push people up in the corner. He is a nasty cat with that character.
Yeah, I think he likes to test people's defense majority of the time, and it's kind of interesting that he would kind of make these resets happen with the overhead. Now, I don't know if he's going to be utilizing that in this segment of the of the CPT, right? Because this is the one qualifier that they have. In World Warrior, I can see that happening. I totally get it.
You got a little more
but
room.
I wonder if he'll still have that kind of gameplay. In fact, we do have our first quote from Ajax. Maybe that'll hint at something, perhaps, of what he's going to be pulling off for this matchup in particular. But yeah, Ajax versus Jimmy. Let's see it.
I don't have 1, 2, 3 to carry me this time, but I do got a drive rush. Brother, we all got drive rush.
But Joey's is pretty good.
That's true.
well, you're a Ken player. Yeah. Your guys is pretty good.
Yeah, that's nasty.
I'm stuck on Jamie right now, but it is what it is. No, he's still good. But anyways, no, that's a valid point, right? I think drive rush as Jory, pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good deal.
Buttons.
Good lengths. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I think it's the longest. I think what DJ's is the fastest and Jury's is the longest drive rush. It covers the most. That's kind of wild.
All right, this is Jimmy though. This is actually a battle of the young guns. I forgot that Jimmy's also part of the young crew along with Ajax Fidelity, 23 and 22. Though that's young. That's definitely young to me. PR versus DR battle. Sorry, DO battle right there. Jimmy on the Marisa. I'm curious to see what he's been working with. I haven't really seen him in a lot of tournaments, so I'm curious to see how he has been operating with Street Fighter 6. Before he played Balrog, he did work in 5, but I'm curious to see how he's going to be working out in 6 with a heavy hitter. I mean, if you're looking for a heavy hitter, Marisa definitely is one.
That was a very interesting exchange. You know, Jimmy was looking for maybe that drive rush earlier, or at least like watching Ajax Fidelity walk up behind the fireball. But that was a very preemptive crouching medium punch in that reaction. But we'll see how it plays out. Jimmy does have the corner scenario. That's too far.
Unfortunate. There's that overhead drive rush in. So many things you're worried about. Drive rush throw, drive rush overhead, the buttons, of course. There's that forward medium punch. Locked up in the corner. Not where you want to be as Marisa. Not the best defense in the business. Make some big calls.
Oh. Yeah, you're dead. You gotta be a lot more damage than that. Yeah, you already know it. Ajax Fidelity. We've talked about jury players kind of like spending a lot of their bar to obviously get the damage and get the corner as soon as possible. But I feel like Ajax, man, he's a whole different breed. He'll do it off of a block normal because it's fine. You know, Marisa won't really have the counter to stop it. Like, what's the answer when you see a canceled normal into drive rush block most of the time? It's a dragon punch, right?
Yeah. You need a reversal. Yeah,
right?
yeah. She ain't got one of those.
Marisa doesn't have that, right?
She's about to not have her health right now. Immediate level 3. Expeditiously getting Grizzly. Mauling up in the corner as we predicted. It's hard for this character to fight back, but she's on the back foot. We typically see the opposite way around, but when you have a character like Jury that's just drive rushing in, starting the party off continuously and immediately, a little bit hard to start that big damage party. Oh, and that fireball too as well, interrupting these sort of drive rushes forward, even forward momentum. Push it back.
Down.
Oh, Diamond some dirt.
I mean, Diamond some wood, I guess. You know, the bridge, you know, in Brazil, it's pretty sturdy. It's been lasting since Street Fighter 2, I guess, you know.
We'll solve that. It'll be fine.
That's gotta be like stone. I don't even know if it's like wood anymore.
Yeah,
but anyways.
Seeing people pound on that, definitely.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the look that I wanted to see from Jimmy, right? Using the Superman punches as a threat to get past some of the fireballs. I haven't seen it as much. I think that was the first time we've seen it thus far.
Yeah. I mean, Vince, because you're worried about like crushing medium punch, but you have to put that idea on the table. Another drive rush overhead. What Warrior CPT? It don't matter to me. Oh, it's looking a little free. I ain't gonna lie. Level 1, Ajax Fidelity is 1 away from moving on the top 8. Jimmy has not found those answers.
He has the ideas. He knows what to look out for the jury matchup, but this specific jury he's just not ready for yet. We'll see. It's not even close to over yet.
That's true. A lot of Fuha stocks up. It's difficult because we always see Ajax with some bar, you know, with the Fuha engine stocked up so he can sell those fireballs. He's always ready to have that on the table. And outside of this is where like drive rush stampiers will not work out. And then he gets in and starts the oppression.
Jimmy. He's doing those buffers too. He's doing crouching light punch buffers and ranges that are not going to connect for him, and it leads to so much against him. Now Ajax is going to be running away with it, right? Forward throw. He still has feng shui, so he's still able to apply this pressure at Jimmy again, picking spots where he's not even allowed to move just yet. Now the feng shui is over, and it's still unable to move. You are under arrest when it comes to Jury, and she has bar, and she has Fuha stored. That's just really a really tough spot to even try to throw out any sort of looks other than Superman punch. I don't know, man. Like Superman punch maybe might have been able to like rescue him in that scenario, but
Yeah.
just the charged up punch in general, just, man, it's just not enough.
Not enough. That was jail no bail in both sides of the screen, continuously not able to leave. I mean, that's Ajax also taking advantage of these corner positions continuously. You see the strike though continuously, calls out the stance, knows that there's not much defense, but knows to blow up what is left on the table. And always with that bar, whether it be drive rush bar or bar at the bottom for CA or I guess level 3, because there wasn't a moment where CA was even in play, didn't have the health dwindled away. He just was always ready to cash out at the opportune times. And he's also one of those great players that, more often than not, will also use like level 2 to get that corner carry and then impress you, man. And then you see right there, resetting himself with a crouching medium kick was fantastic. He's always in. There's a level 2 corner send situation. She's going to dump out the most amount of damage because she has these chainable combos. Like the OD fireball, the follow-ups. It's so good, bro.
That's tough, man. That's tough. I think it was just a lack of understanding what the scenario was from Jimmy's behalf. Because you're looking at like how often he did crouching jab into like Demokairos buffer. Like that's not gonna be like a real thing from further out, I feel like. So that's tough, man. Like having to do like a buffer into that is not gonna be the same effect when somebody's already playing like mid-range. Like they run into the buffer. It's like, then what? You're gonna try to get something out of Demokairos? Like, no, you're gonna whiff. You're gonna whiff in front of Ajax Fidelity? No, he's gonna make that hurt. So that's just how it goes. Ajax cleaning it up 2-0. Which concludes our first 3 matches. That's actually pretty quick. But for the most part, right, Ajax has been very much so developing his gameplay and also like solidifying himself in the main streets of CPTs and also World Warriors, right? We've had so many instances where we've watched Ajax Fidelity grow as a player, not even just for like anything involved with with Capcom sanctioned events, but again, this is where he's proven himself to be one of the top contenders. And you have the chance to do so as well, right? We're taking a look at CPT Central America East, but we still have the entire tour going underway. All of the regional CPT online events are now available to sign up, as well as the 2 CPT offlines happening in Singapore and in France. But for the one coming up for Brazil, that registration will be closing. Now, all of them are open, and we do mean that. You can sign up for it right now, even as I speak, but the registration for certain areas will be closing. Specifically for Brazil, that is going to be happening Monday, September 18th. That is your cutoff time this Monday at 8 a.m. Now, I'd imagine you want to get on that as soon as you can, especially with the amount of talent that we have in Brazil, because there's so much on the line. Again, don't fool around when it comes to this $1 million. Be sure to sign up, as registration is closing for Brazil specifically, but it's open for the rest of the Capcom Pro Tour. Head over to CapcomProTour.com for all the information for your regions and where to sign up.
If you're hungry for more than just battle, you can go get some Chipotle. Chipotle has joined hands with Capcom during this first year of Street Fighter 6. Download the app and order some carne asada back on the grill for a limited time. All right, stay fine. Go to your local Chipotle and get hooked up immediately.
When was the last time you had carne asada?
About actually a month and a half ago. Went to an event.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that means you got to do it again today. I feel like while you're here in Burbank, there is a Chipotle not too far from the studio. Got yourself a little cut of the carne asada. And I was actually kind of looking forward to this as well. You know, being a big Mexican cuisine fan in general, right? We have a good abundance of that actually in SoCal. I've been looking forward to this very moment. So again, be sure to check it out. Carne asada is happening for a limited time only. Got to get on that here with Chipotle. Now, we've established our first 3 matches, our first 3 players going into top 8, but we got to figure out who the rest is going to be after this break. When we come back, we'll have more of that top 16 coming your way.
Chipotle's carne asada is back. It's our most tender cuts of steak, grilled and seasoned with cumin, oregano, and coriander. Finished with fresh lime and hand-chopped cilantro. Carne asada. This is our best steak ever.
Time to work, time to work. When inhaled, coriamyrtin blocks the gamma-aminobutyric acid receptors in the central nervous system, causing spasmodic muscle contractions.
Master, it's a work of art! It's perfect!
What to do with you now? So, shall we put him out of his misery? Time for some experimentation. I bet poison would work wonders on you. on the menu. I'm finished with you. I have you. It's over. My art is death. Let's do now. Here, there, then here, and my magnum opus! Is my poison kicking in?
Street Fighter 6.
Objection!
TGS 2023 Capcom Online Special Program. Program starts September 21st, Thursday, 7 a.m. PDT. Dragon's Dogma 2. Resident Evil 4. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Exoprimal. Street Fighter 6. Get all of the latest Capcom news with this special program. Don't miss it on September 21st, Thursday, 7 a.m. PDT.
We are here with the champ, the fighting pride of the Dominican Republic, Mena RD. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, man?
All right, man. Look, I gotta holler at you. Gotta ask you some questions about your region specifically. You got a whole lot of pride in it and everything. How does your region shape you, whether it's Street Fighter wise or otherwise?
I'm really prideful about it. You know, everybody there is just we take the game seriously, but it's just part of our lives. We get together, we have fun, we see each other, we catch up, but at the same time, Street Fighter is part of it, you know? So we're now traveling together too. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy process, and being able to show the world what we're capable of, and at the same time still having fun, not having any pressure. It's a blessing, you know?
All right, so you talk about traveling a lot. You and my man's Kaba, you know what I'm saying, my dog, you guys are always traveling a lot. You're like, kind of like, I don't want to say eternal rivals, but in the same way, Big Bird and Angry Bird type of way. What's your relationship like with Kaba, man? And like, what has it been like seeing him improve so much over time? We didn't know about the other DR players until you win a cup and everything the first time, and now Kaba's like a superstar.
Nah, with Kava, it's been a little bit complex, you know, talking about the game with someone that I know I'm gonna meet in finals, someone that I know will take away championships from me and I will take from him, but at the same time, it doesn't have to do anything with like the personal life. We respect each other, we love each other, and as players, you know, that just means like we know we're good, you know, and that we have to to strive to beat everybody, but then if we have to worry about each other, that means we're beating everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a little bit of a rivalry, but at the same time, it's good. It's a good rivalry. It feels good to be able to worry about him and him worrying about me, you know?
Do you think that there's some players in the Dominican Republic that right now might not get as much shine? Maybe they're not able to travel as much or whatever. Do you think that there's, in general, more players down there that that people don't even know about who's actually dead nice?
100%, bro. Like, there's Brian D. People don't know about Brian D, man. Crossover, G-Roy, Weeman, like, we have a lot of world-class players, but the thing is, if we can't access the world, then we're just gonna stay in the art, you know? So I feel like if they are given the chances, if they have the opportunity, they might go as far or even more, or even further than me. So it's gonna be crazy.
It is going to be crazy. And the same can be said about this CPT Central America East. The boy, the bull, the one and only two-time Capcom Cup champion, Mena RD. Appreciate you, dog.
Truly a chance of a lifetime here for Central America East for the Capcom Pro Tour. Vicious here back at it again with St. Cola to deliver all of the high-octane action that you were expecting from these regions, right? We've talked about it with Mena RD over and over and over again. We had a very, very live one-on-one interview back. Actually, that was EVO. I shouldn't say live, but that was actually like heart-to-heart over at EVO between Rob TV and Mena RD. You could see the amount of passion and the amount of effort they put into it, while at the same time still keeping it composed, still keeping it cool, right? There's nothing ever personal except for the building of friendship, the building of rivalries as well. I don't think there's been anybody who's been talking that stuff against like DR or PR because of how well they hold themselves, how well they carry themselves as competitors and as people. Like, I love hanging out with, I'm not even in the same realm as the competitive aspect. Maybe in older games. Mono, I'm looking at you. Maybe in the older games. But I will say this, like, the way that they carry themselves as competitors is really upper echelon. I feel like it's been like the pinnacle thus far.
I mean, they're very community-oriented and very community-based. Like, the fact that Mena is speaking so highly of their players, so consistently, every time you talk to him, he's like, hey, I'm strong, but there are other cats that are almost as strong as me. You have people that are almost as strong as a two-peat CPT champion, bro. My man, that is high praise right there. But honestly, you look at these players, especially the one that we have coming up, the likes of Brian D., the fact that that dude has been in consistent top spots, has been getting some victories out here, has been winning TNS where there's like 500-plus players coming through, that shows a lot of good promise. G-Roy, nothing to sniff at too as well. That dude's on the JP. I saw him take down NYC Furby just recently at TNS. That was like on Wednesday. And that JP is looking real nasty.
Yeah, man. Brian D, I feel like he is the reason why a lot of players early on Twitter were like, man, Gao's a problem. Like, he is the guy that made the Twitter atmosphere kind of like a little shaky in regards to what the meta was going to be like. He was the guy that was gatekeeping a lot of folks while at the same time maintaining some of these top 3 performances. So no doubt Brian D is going to be a killer. G-Roy as well. We literally heard Mena RD talk about these 2 players specifically, but there's something about G-Roy that we got to see and the way that he pilots this JP, because again, this is a common character that we've seen a lot thus far. What does he bring to the table that's different? Now, this is a matchup we've seen time and time again at different weekly majors, if you will now, right? JP versus Guile is not an uncommon occurrence. I feel like majority of the players kind of feel like Guile doesn't do as well in this matchup.
That's true. Even though we see Du running the Guile in that matchup, it's more of like comfortability, I feel like, than it is, hey, this matchup actually works out nowadays.
Comfort pick,
You know, it definitely seems difficult for Guile to set up that projectile pressure that you'd like to have full screen. You can't set up like you usually do. And even in the mid-range, you get challenged by stand fear, stand medium punch, all the fantastic buttons we all know and love or hate JP for. And I think that, you know, with all these leading to, you know, ODMDs you have to really worry about, that's going to be in the factor of any matchup, even though you have the meaty projectiles and stuff like that. That's still going to be a tight tournament no matter what. So JP, he's a threat, but I feel like people are, even these matchups that aren't so good, are figuring out how to fight. You know, I've seen Knuckle Do take down some JPs. I've seen Guile players on CFN take down JPs too as well. It's not impossible. And Brian D has taken down a lot of matchups that maybe are uncomfortable for this character, or you know, they're not so good or whatever. And it feels like the way he plays, like it don't matter. He's just another person in front of another character. But this is G-Roy. Let's see what he has for us.
One of the big factors here in regards to this matchup specifically, there's going to be a lot of the players' intuition involved, right? These guys have to be training partners to a certain degree, right? If they're in the same breath as Mena RD's statement about the good players in the Dominican Republic, then there's no doubt in my mind they're of the same school. 100%. So looking at it right now, G-Roy is trying to keep Brian away up until this point. Hey, that wasn't too bad of an exchange, at least for G-Roy to take that much damage.
But the intuition also, I think, is like finding these jumpers against JP in a weird angle where crouch pierce won't work out. Like jump light kick might work. Here's the impact though. Flash kick right after. We'll be doing meaty blade. Such a nasty tool. This character.
Oh,
nice.
that was sick. The delayed flash kick to catch G-Roy right at the last second is looking really solid for Brian D thus far. Very minimal errors, but at the same time, so controlling of what G-Roy is trying to do. He's putting it against the man. What an explosive first round from Brian.
Like some of these buttons that he's utilizing the bazooka knee enhance or the drive rush. Also, you see maybe clipping like crouching medium punch and other buttons and things like that. Fantastic play here from Brian so far. G-Roy trying to get these fake outs in. These fireballs, just a flash kick, the knockdown. Seems about a sonic boom pressure, trying to kill that gauge, that drive gauge.
Yeah, Brian pretty much doing the most with that drive gauge. We talked about his approach thus far. It's been drive rush bazooka knee.
Yeah.
Now, from certain distances, it's not going to be plus. You are able to kind of like press a button afterwards because it's really up to the spacing that Brian D launches it at, right?
Have to be careful, but they'll get through the ghost and be one way to advance that you would like to maybe rely upon better than other buttons. Here is a level 2. Jumps out immediately, doesn't have to deal with anything of the ghastly ghost.
That's hard when you evade the Goon Squad. It's like, will you have enough to build up all that talent again for a level 2? Perfect parry, you're going to get nothing off the jump.
Command grip, no! When you grab your demon, somebody's there! Now we're going to see Gal and the Sonic Steppers. Level 3, pumped out by Brian D. Not going to kill, but this is bad. He's got a lot of gauge to whittle that drive gauge down if need be. One bazooka knee. He spins it for the OD Sonic Boom.
And that's pretty smart too. Like that's forcing G-Roy to kind of think about making a trade with the spikes, but the fact that it was OD is going to be so much faster. And even if it did trade, right, you don't have that much life left in you, right? As G-Roy, you're going to be losing that trade no matter what.
Not bad timing here. The Sonic Boom timing, projectile timing has been fantastic for Brian D. He's on game point right here. Let's see what G-Roy brings right back. Sand Fierce, the fake out, did not commit.
Oh my!
Fist the face to put him in his place.
The lows as well. We're starting to see the roundhouses come out as well to kind of occupy that space in the places where G-Roy wants to press buttons. Yeah, the last hit. Oh, you cannot neutral jump against any Guile player.
The range of that flash kick, it feels like even more than just 5. Like even trying to bake those out is damn near difficult. Brian D on set point, nice challenge. The 4-framer right there, the crouching light punch starts off the party for the full screen departure. We're in. No, deny the aerial space. Oh, damn it. Applying a lot of pressure against that ODM. You should make her waste all that bar. This is bad. He's got that level 2.
Oh, that's a tough situation to be in. He's been locked down since, what, beginning of the round? That's going to be totally fine for G. Oh, you can't level 1 through that. That is a mini Sonic Boom. Brian D, and the D stands for dominance. Man, that was actually so destructive, so dangerous, everything, really. Brian D brought the whole shebang-a-bang to the table. G-Roy not able to get a round or a game against Brian D.
I feel that you've seen this character. You know you have to play him when you get to a higher level, or if you travel, you're going to be prepared how to fight JP. On the reverse, hopefully you can find some of these Guile players. Obviously, we have Kaba. We have Brian D. Really getting that practice and that work is not as continuous as JP. But just the knowledge to go for Bazooka Knee. Drivers was fantastic, challenge some of these buttons. Some of the fake stuff not working out. I wish G-Roy would have committed to some of these conversions to leave a little bit more damage. Yeah, and neutral jump against this character is damn near impossible. You see the impact, and it was going to be a wrap either way. Even if this did not work out, he still had level 2. He still could have pumped him with the level 2 Sonic Boom Parade. And that solidifies our top 8 winner side spot for tomorrow. Kaba, Joshi, and then Ajax Fidelity and Brian D. Now I got to go down to losers and start sending some people home.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's take a look at the other side of the bracket if we can. It's going to be Clivis 105 versus Taxto. That's going to be Luke versus Ken, actually. Blanca was not actually the choice for Taxto. HDCM versus Solid Paha Hands. That's going to be Guile versus Jury. Louisman versus Joker. That's Dalton versus Jury. Edward Ting going against Balance John, who knows? But it's going to be DJ versus Ken. And obviously in the round 2, we have G-Roy, Jimmy DR, Saint Fox, and Mono awaiting their challengers from round 1.
Fantastic amount of matches all added up. But again, this is the loser side. This is your last shot for all these competitors out here. And it's wild again to see the likes of Mono in the bottom side of things. We'll see if we can make that return over seat as our final match of the day. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We still have Clivis and Taxo to play. Names that I'm not so familiar with, but that's good. I like seeing these new, maybe even new faces or people that have taken a break, or they're actually getting their time to shine out here because we have this CPT regional event going on to showcase the power of the region. It looks like it is going to be, as you've mentioned, the Luke versus the Ken.
Damn, that's going to be cool. Like, we haven't really seen Luke, I think through Central America East in general, right? I feel like the character the character choices there have been a little bit different. But Ken obviously is going to be a common occurrence no matter what. So I think it's going to be a very interesting one at that. You know, we've seen how many times Luke versus Ken can really play out, but I feel like Luke, there's a lot of moments where he could be very explosive and kind of just like take it away from even the characters that are on the map right now. Like Ken is always going to be like that dominant hot topic for a long time, but Luke, man, he could get the job done too.
He's honestly broken. You know, when people say he's honest,
Luke?
I think he's honestly ridiculous. Broken when it comes to damage. Maybe not in terms of game plan, but all those fundamentals, they add up to so much in terms of whip punishes, in terms of damage that are pumped out. I think that character is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe he's not as ridiculous as Ken, but he is.
He is the Street Fighter 6 formula.
Yeah.
Like he's got everything that needs to be done in terms of like getting that win and getting that win quickly. There are some other characters that can do it better than him, surprisingly enough. Ken.
You're right. I ain't gonna fight that one. You know, I ain't gonna fight. That's absolutely right. I think being able to route it back is a little bit easier for the side of Ken, but Luke has a lot of things to say when it comes to getting the lead and keeping the lead. We see that stand medium kick. He's got the walls, he sort of buttons, and once you get that lead, it's so hard to take it from him if they're playing solidly. Let's see if that happens. Gotta be careful with these fireballs. Could be drive rush and in the stand fierce right after. We're looking for like perfect parry and the drive rush right after.
Very ambitious start from Clivus, but luckily Tuxto actually didn't get a giant punish off of this. Still manages to get, I think the scaling involved with the perfect parry is totally fine if you're Tuxto because you are looking for this corner carry, but also the overhead that was meaty. That was a meaty Jinrai low. That was actually kind of deceptive.
Called him black, and let's get cracking up in this corner. Stan Medium did not commit, gets the crouching medium kick though. And this is Ken, the one cancels. Enhanced Tatsu, Oki chance right here. A lot of Oki anti right there with the crouch fierce.
Yeah, I like the drive impact to force Tuxto away from the corner. You just have to kind of hold that. Unless he was able to reversal or like respond with the level 1. Either way, Clivus taking the roundhouse to the gut at the first deficit. Now Tuxto, very aggressive, taking his turn immediately after the gate. So that was pretty good. Oh, the uppercut finds the mark. Back throw that you heard the parry attempt.
It was there. That medium punch. Then you see the parry out again. There's the throw, though. Punish counter. That means no more bar for Tuxto. Crouch fierce anti-air. Gotta be careful with the drive impact, but he knew what to do. He was already out of there. Now this is real bad. He's caught in the corner. Level 3 could be what's gonna happen. We're gonna send it. Level 1. Okay.
You could chip here. Oh man, I was gonna say, is that within range for an uppercut? I like the idea of Tuxto just going for an empty jump because just in case, like if the roundhouse, if the heavy DP wasn't fast enough to catch, he would have been dead. So.
Yeah. It was cooked. Like kick follow up.
Not like this.
And Satsu. Overhead, yes. Hella meaty.
You can do it again.
Do it again. We're trying to get the fake out this time. Looking for a reversal. Stand fierce. No. This is more than fine. And this is level 3. Didn't even need it, but we'll cash out either way. This kid came to play. This dude is ridiculous.
Tuxto is mad aggressive, right? He went for the same thing. He's gone to the well at least 3 or 4 times over after the enhanced run Katsu against Clivus. And to be fair, that's really hard to contest. I totally get it. Like guessing between the run stop, like nothing, running overhead. Right. That's hard to contest, right? If it hits overhead, you're kind of dead. Like it's just another sequence, right? So that's hard. It's really difficult to guess.
I like Tuxto's just idea to take you to the corner where Ken's going to work. Where he really shines, and you definitely see that game plan. Sweep off the feet against the drive rush. Already ready, gets the empty low. Crouching light kick, DP with a crouch fierce whip. Unfortunate.
Interesting exchanges, man. Clivus is swinging, and Tuxto not even trying to rebuttal against it. There was a couple of counter hits against him, but there are moments where he actually had a chance. Oh boy, let it drop a little bit. Uppercut. Watch out for the drive impact too early. He mistimed it. He was trying to get it meaty. Side switch.
Unfortunate. Light Kickstarter, drive rush, Dragon Lash DP actually spins the levels to seal the deal. I like that. The level 1 to get it done, just in case the DP wouldn't have killed. It may have, but you want to close it out and clinch your shot further in the loser side of bracket. He is on set point now.
He got caught pressing the low forward first. The Clivus preemptively getting this jump in against Tuxto, the perfect parry. We're not going to get the side switch just yet. Dragon Lash, there it is.
Great kill. Goes to the low, the block though. Here's the throw. The switch, the continuous amount of pressure is so hard to read. They get strike throw over and over again. Very brave.
Double dash forward?
In the right button too. Level 3, yeah. Go to Memphis.
You got to spend it. You have to spend it if you're Clivus, right? You're going to go back some of your drive gauge, bring them back to Memphis. But this is where it becomes a one-shot scenario, I think, for Clivus. Oh, that could have been it. Either way, he runs into the stop sign that is the standing medium punch. Again, it's so far out. We talked about some of the stop sign normals that Luke does have to stop some of the pressure, stop some of the advances that Tacto's been looking forward to.
Stand light punch too as well. We haven't really seen that exercise, but it is also one of those other buttons. Oh, I think he tried to go for crouch fierce, but a little bit too late on the draw. Jump in and the bait on the DP. Backing off and making him feel uncomfortable, unusual up in the corner. With that bar at the bottom.
Again, GG's. Nope, I don't even want to see the rest of it. GG's.
Yeah, just cut it.
He's not going to do it.
Yo, just spin
three.
Bro, just spin to win. Ended, impact, right back. There's no way you bring this back. You put yourself in front of, had to do something different. You know, you were going to die either way. All it takes is just one good sequence, one hit in level 3. Go for that chip. I don't think it's enough. That is.
You don't, man. Woo. Listen. That was already game. As soon as the chip sequence started, I'm like, if you can't spin to level 3, there is a gang of damage behind it. It's all of the initial burst.
It's wild. I forgot. That does so much chip, but that's
your character, bro.
But I just don't go for the chip sequences apparently enough. Tox, though, does, and his corner pressure is enough to take him 2-0 over Clivus. There were some points I would have liked to see from Clivus where he should commit to like the stand medium punch or some of these conversions and just couldn't do it. Maybe it's just the pressure of being in this top spot, but the pressure also of this dude putting him in the corner continuously and looping the run overheads continuously over and over and over again.
One of the wild things, too, that a lot of people kind of agree with on is how often, like, Clivus went for the OD uppercuts. Now, I think that's fair. I think it's a fair thing to do, right? I really do. Like, 2 in a row, I don't know anybody in the world who would have blocked that. But I will say big ups to Taxel having the right reads to block both of them. That was actually kind of sick. Like, I don't know how many players that get away with that, being able to like block both of those, but I have seen a lot of high level play where it's like the first one didn't come through, it's like, all right, they're not going to do it again, right? And they get clipped by the second one. That tells me that Taxel knows a lot of what Clivus's tendencies are.
Yeah. And again, I like that corner pressure just in general. Like, you know, go for the game plan and play him in the corner no matter what. Spending a lot of drive gauge right out the bat to put him in the corner to call a corner right there. Look at this. This drive gauge expenditure was fantastic. And then the chip out sequence. Man. Okay, Ken's pretty good. And so is Taxel as he moves on in the bracket to fight G-Roy. That is going to be a little bit JP versus Ken.
So we are going to have a little bit of a switch up. We know we promised you HDCM versus Solid Paha Hands, but it's going to be a different order. We have a little bit of a hold up, just to be fully transparent with you all. Instead, we are getting Louis Man. We're getting the Dawson early. Louis Man versus Droker. Now, these guys are definitely top competitors. We've seen Louis Man be in the realm of greatness, right? We've talked about him in the same breath that we would talk about Mena RD as well as Kaba. Droker also happens to be in that part of that conversation as well. He's been coming up with this character pretty consistently, I gotta say. So it's gonna be interesting to see. It's unfortunate actually to see that only one of these two players are gonna be moving on.
That's how it be, bro. Only one of these cats can move on at the end of this week. But you know, going back to Louis Man, he was sent down to losers by Ajax Fidelity. So he has some jury practice. He definitely has some top-level jury practice in terms of being sit down and has some matchup, you know, footage just to study, to get ready, prepare for this matchup. But Joker will have to give him a different look. Louis Man, we're actually going to have a quote from him, I believe, up on the screen. What's the sim saying to me? Joker, a.k.a. the Android, is an amazing jury player. We play a lot, so I think it is going to be a very good set.
Go ahead, you got it.
El Concours. I can't. Nah.
Okay. You're almost there.
We'll get there. I'm going to have to ask you after this match if he makes it through against the Android. That's a sick name, bro. The Android?
The Android.
Yeah, the Android.
I didn't realize that, you know, they were going to throw you off like that. I should have taken it. That was my bad. I should have helped you out on that. I helped you out a little bit.
You did. You were there for me.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right with it. But again, this is one of the matchups that I was looking forward to. I've seen a lot of Dawson's been cooking lately, at least within the States with one individual.
Yeah, a little Zaffarino out there.
My man. One of my favorite Dawsons to watch. And I do mean that, man. So with that in mind, I feel like it's weird right now. We've seen the history of Dawson's, right? In especially with like the beginning of Street Fighter V, I feel like a lot of cats were just kind of like, man, this ain't it. Like this character's struggling. And then little by little, people started to figure out he was mad good. The same could be said about Rashid. So
that's true.
I don't know, man. Like I still think whatever is currently being developed is really starting to show like how strong these characters can be. I mean, we've seen even a Lily win one of the events not too long ago.
About that,
as well.
right?
And she was dismissed immediately into like the bottom of the depths of the pool. But this is hard. It's really tough to say, man. I feel like Dawson has so many different tools and so many different looks to play the game that he wants to play and force it to be a one-player game in comparison to the rest of the cast. But we'll see.
It's not like it was in 5 where he had the damage, so he has to kind of reset the situation so continuously. But he's still good. Like he's still very good. Doesn't have the same defense.
Okay. I will stop you there because there was a tweet that Zaffarino put out.
Oh,
Granted, there were certain situations as to why it happened.
Right.
But there was a giant melted bar of life that was like 80%, I want to say.
It's situational, but it's there. It is there. It is there.
It is there.
You're right. You're right.
So
it's there.
I'm not going to say, I will say, like, it's harder to get the big damage output from Dawson from one of these, like, big instances. But yes, it's possible, though. Dawson can make it work if the stars align, which, okay, well, I won't say the stars align because that makes it feel like too much of an ask. There's enough sequences where you can get Dawson to set up for a high damage scenario.
It's with the supers. It's with the supers, to be honest. Being able to conserve your bar for those moments where before, you can get off with the normals and stuff like that, be fine. But the supers, if you have access and you're spinning your bar right, you definitely dump out a lot of damage with this character. And his anti-airs too as well. I've seen Drive Rush into Yoga Uppercut into a ton of damage from the likes of Mr. Crimson and things like that. Like, he commands so much of the space of the screen. His gameplay a little bit different, maybe more zoning based to set up for the limbs and things like that. Has to be careful of what he throws out because of Drive Impact. But those can also be working to his advantage. He can bait you out and be like, okay, I'm gonna run the medium and then retract my limb and just wait a little bit, try to go for Drive Impact. I've recovered, you get hit with my Drive Impact. And now I'm set up for the nasty stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good character. Like, Sim historically always just takes work. He just takes a little more time.
I agree.
It's an investment character.
I'm waiting for like the tail end of like season 1 to see all the Dawson players really be like, all right, it's time.
I don't know if
it's time. We've hidden our hidey hole for a good minute. Now it's time to show the world. I love that part of it because it shows me that there's a lot of dedication towards this character, and the fan base is still going to be playing, or like the competitive base of that character is going to be like really grinding it out and figuring out how these characters work. And I think it's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah, it could happen for all the other characters that we maybe not see as much. Maybe they won't rise the same sort of occasion and things like that continuously. We might be seeing more. We've already seen Geef work out, so we might be seeing more of these Geef heads come through with even more tech. We talked about Lily making up there in these top spots. We'll see if Louis Man can prove that Sim has still got it in it.
I'm glad that Louis Man is still utilizing the emotes pre-game, right? Sometimes people get too serious, man. They don't want to throw any of the directions, but Louis Man, he's sticking with the up button. I get it. Giving the smiles, but man, no smiles here with the Drive Rush standing medium punch connects to your face. The big interruption from Louis Man to create that space.
Air throw drops him down the ground. Careful of the fireball. Oh, yeah. Nice gets a counter hit, backing off to kill that bar. And one of the things that this character is really good about is killing your drive gauge continuously. You don't even notice it. Stand, fierce, fireballs, all adding up to kill your drive gauge if you're not watching.
Setting up. This is the part where, oh man, up until this point, right? Louis Man, I don't feel like he had any reason to kind of like teleport forward to test Joker, but either way, still getting these looks on offense was impressive. But no, a drop.
Could have been hit. This character alive. Drive Rush forward with a medium punch and a point, or the fourth medium punch. DP follow up, one more hit. Drive Impact. Right back. Good reaction from Louis Man.
So smart too. Louis Man definitely had more than enough in the tank to counter with his own Drive Impact. It was super smart also. But I think the keen awareness of what's to come afterwards is what really excelled him in that moment. So very good ups to Louis Man. Oh!
The fireball teleports in. The trade. Gets hit with the shimmy. This is unfortunate. So these follow-ups to the corner. That bar being built up for the side of the jury too as well. Level 3 or level 2 could be also the play to kind of whittle down that health. It's a defense like Louis Man.
He has to really bide his time up until this point. He just gets to teleport out. But it's still Joker who's trying to initiate the offense. Some of these drive rushes. At this range, he's not allowed to, right? Yoga Comet's going to be coming in, changing up the looks. Yeah, between normals and fireballs, right? This is where you kind of play the one-player game we were talking about. You're forcing the opponent to get through this obstacle course.
And all the while just emptying that drive gauge. Has to be careful. Look at that, the teleport.
And he's out.
Yeah. Escape option right there. Still has that up in this game. Fireball, though. Up in the corner, maybe not the best in terms of defense. We go for the drive reversal. I feel like a lot of Sim players go for that, but he is going down that bad slide. So that bar at the bottom about to be level 3. Yes, sir.
Hey, if you're Louis Man, you're looking at this in a positive note. It's like, all right, well, I forced my opponent to dish out all of his bar for him to kill me to tie up the round. I think a lot of players would deem that as a plus. It's like, okay, well, you get to start over, but I have a lot more resources than you do.
I wonder how much you can actually get in terms of like building up that bar. Oh, never mind. Let me go that bar with the quickness. I was going to say, build up the bar at the bottom with that aggression. If you can get in, and he's actually getting in continuously. Drive Impact, DP with the pinwheel, fireball, keeping it nice and meaty. Driver's back throw. We're going for the Yoga Arch. But nothing here from the side of Louis Man. Like, no stand light punch. That is like the forefront he's used to stop some of this stuff.
Yeah, that's tough. It's a tough call. I don't know if you have that much time.
Maybe.
Yeah. Does clip mid-air, the dive kick is there. Joker not gonna, he can't really contest about trying to stop Dawson from teleporting. Maybe an anti-air with an uppercut, but for being consistent.
In burnout.
Oh, he still pressed it, man. After the third walk back, that's what made Louis-Man break. That was so well played from Joker. He walked back and forth in that play, or in his face, like what, 3 times over, and it was the third one that got him. That's unfortunate. I definitely pressed the button, like I'm sure everybody else pressed the button, but it's like it's so tantalizing. Like, it's like, how do you know when she's gonna throw you?
And you want to open them up so bad, bro. You want to get that level 3 of this CA, and it just wasn't meant to be for right now. But we did see some drops from Louis-Man that could have equated some kills previously. But we'll have to see what happens. I like the round start from Joker, being aggressive with that drive rush to get in immediately, and then getting the drive impact, aiming for his drive gauge, and then also trying to start up the party immediately so you're not chasing down Sim full screen. It looks like it's difficult if the timing and the template of buttons is good from the side of Sim.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like if we had seen Louis-Man consistently keep Joker in the corner and like stop some of these approaches, which is difficult. It's a hard ask really to stop some of these drive rush approaches, and would have seen a different story, right? But that's just the fact of the matter. Whoever gets to get their bully on first is going to be the victor, I think.
That's true. Snowball game. Yoga Arch, OD, challenging the screen, keeping the lock on the screen. Too far for that dive kick. Find a punish counter, no slide. The Louis-Man off to a better start as soon as I say that.
So smart, man.
This, man. That forward medium punch is doing a lot of work with drive rush.
Yeah, but I just think the read after the mummy drill into the teleport, Joker actually going for the option to drive rush forward and catch it is really, really smart, right? That's him being well-versed in the Dawson matchup.
Again, these cats probably have faced each other so much. You have to do something different at the table when it comes to tournament time. The dive kicks they're landing, it feels like, for the majority. Like 3 out of 4 have landed. Oh, the corner, too far off for the follow-up, though. But it burned up. This is bad. One hit. Yoga lands to do it. Louis-Man still in.
Is that no longer called Yoga Anvil?
I think it's Yoga Lance now.
Interesting. Okay. I love the sound of the anvil, though.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
It was Looney Tunes character.
Yeah. I like the attempt at the overhead. We've seen the benefits of being able to land that as a mix, right? Or in the mix. So Louis-Man opting for the defensive jump out of that.
Look at that. Doesn't even go for drive rush meeting. He goes for like the drive impact, waits a little bit,
What?
switches up his option.
Wait, I thought that was going to be on the other side. That jump out was crazy. What was that? Oh, no. Oh, drops again. What is happening?
Can't get in. To really harass on that burnout. It's a fireball, but that's not that bad. Got drive gauge. Looking for the right moment. The drive rush medium, forward medium, any of those things. But you have to be so careful with the button.
Oh.
Larry, yeah, he's out of there. Be aware.
That's totally fine. Gonna set up for the Arch, OD version as well to kind of create that space for himself to move on up. But now it's gonna be up to Joker to stop. Man, that fireball lasted forever.
I think the fireball play is definitely locking down Joker even more so trying to get the drive impact. Easy call with the back throw. Drive rush in. Fixing the drive impact. No splat. Did he block? He got caught holding north. He's going south. Louis-Man.
Damn, he's gonna put him in line with Gucci Mane as well. Louis-Man.
Louis-Man with the plane. Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Game to game.
That's going to be it. Yeah, game to game, up to 1 apiece. Yeah, there's a little bit of a difference, I feel like. There's a little bit more, I want to say like reluctancy from Joker, but to be fair, it's been hard to catch Louis-Man and what he wanted to do offensively. I think there's been a lot of different looks now that Louis-Man's kind of showing off to force Joker to double think, or at least kind of overthink what he's trying to do as a counter. But it's hard to tell, really.
I think fireballs are definitely helping out with that. You know, the Yoga Arch, more of the comments, things like that. I feel like he's focusing more on the fireball play full screen. But that with the pensiveness of Joker is leading to these scramble situations where he tries to get in and he loses so much health. Drive gauge, you can't just drive rush forward. And then you're in that moment where you're like, you've lost so much health that these stand fierces and these stand heavy kicks and things like that, it's a one shot. So where Sim would love to live.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. There was a couple of drops, too, significant drops, too, in combos that had happened between these two. So obviously we had to get a little bit of a breather between the two to kind of reassess. Over here on Vader's Beach, here we go. This is the final game between these two.
He's going to get cooked up on that grill. Nice interruption. Back medium kick. It's a side switch, too, as well. That back medium kick doing a lot of work for conversions.
I thought it was medium punch that stopped him, right?
Oh, the back medium kick first, but then before that, and then after that was the medium. He's sneaking in the medium kick as in terms of conversions, but either way, Joker's getting way more aggressive, which I'd like to see him do in the first place. Obviously, it's a hard ask, but I want to see him get these burst moves.
Oh, I flinched. You literally saw my body flinch as the drive impact happened. I pressed the button in my mind. I thought Louis-Man was going to do the same.
Hey, you reacted. I didn't.
I mean, I reacted with my body. I think I missed the button completely, but Louis Man also doing the same, right? It was really unfortunate, but this is not what's unfortunate, right? He's covering all the options. He used the Yoga Fire first, drive wrist forward, and then covered the air option with the back heavy punch just in case.
The variance of these fireballs and normal things like that, it's hard to read. He thought a button was coming out. And again, the template of buttons and fireballs, you're not seeing the drive impacts land. One more hit will seal it. This is where Sim lives. No Yoga Sniper, but still, dang near anything will do it. Oh, this is just dangerous right here. Walked in for the drive impact, trying to get the walk up. DP, I'm not sure what that was.
That was, I don't know, man. That was it was a weird look. I will call it that way. That was definitely a weird look. I kind of understand like what he might have wanted, but Inferno catch on the other side. If that juggles, that would be so sick. If that juggled, that would have been like, all right, there it is. Dawson's broken. There.
Change your tier list right now.
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Nice interruption on the drive rush. He's been really good at interrupting these drive rushes, depending on like slide or stand fierce apply. No matter what it is. Yoga, noogie, hold this throw. And again in the lead, the Joker does not want to have him be at all.
Oh, that jump in could have been a little bit more. I think he would have been within range to get a jump in normal. Joker just dropping.
Jump head kick would have worked out, but what's working out right now is that build up. Noah drop.
What is happening?
Oh my God. DP, no teleport. Wake up super. Will this hit? He'll just go for the throw. Still gets clipped.
I don't know how to call that as a commentator. I don't.
I'm with you. Louis Man moving on the bracket, though I don't know how to call that. The 2-1.
That was tough. There was a lot of errors from both sides. I mean, that's what happens even in professional play. But there were some instances where I'm like, was he trying to counter that with something else, or like what was the call out here? Like that was a tough spot. I think there was a lot of nerves towards the end of it. They played just fine. Up until that point, right? I think it was just like the nerves and the shackles of like of being what I guess sorted down. But it was even. I felt like it was almost near even for these players. It was so tough.
I mean, some situations that they were just tweaked just a little bit. We would have been seeing the victory on the opposite side of things with Broker, with jump-ins maybe working out. I like when he did have these round starts. That 3-time shimmy, I love seeing that stuff right there. But again, when Louis Man gets the lead, it's hard for him to, besides the drops, to route it back from the brink. And that's why I like Joker when he did start off the party right. It was great. This was dope, man. If the fireball would have found the fall, that would have been nasty. But here's this weird, just, I don't know. What I do know is Louis Man's moving on the bracket, bro.
Yeah, he's going to be moving on to face off against another brethren. It's going to be against Sane Fox. But we did have a little bit of a gap, right? We had HDCM versus Solid Paha Hands postponed just a little bit. I'm not too sure if production has it queued up for us just yet. It could either be that matchup or we'll be moving on into Edward Ting versus Balance John, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Not too sure, but either way, for round 2, we've established G-Roy versus Taxto. Jimmy's still waiting for his opponent. Sane Fox versus Louis Man, and of course, Mono, he's awaiting his fate against the winner between the two that we just mentioned earlier at the bottom. But either way, we spin it. We still have one more game to play before we even throw it to a break. So either way, HCCM versus Solid Paha Hands. If we were to actually prep for that matchup, it would be Guile versus Jury. But we do actually have a little bit more to talk about first. We do have a little bit of a break coming through because the players just aren't ready yet. So apologies first and foremost. We're going to be switching up a little bit of the game plan. But looking into it, man, we've seen a lot of action thus far going into the CPT. We've had World Warrior events all around. Also just throughout the weekend as well, not too long ago.
Yeah, make sure y'all are signing up and getting ready and prepared for World Warrior. Make sure you are getting as many points as possible because the Capcom Pro Tour isn't the only way to qualify the Capcom Cup 10. The World Warrior Regionals are happening right now. They're available to sign up right now. 26 different regions, 26 regional champions, all competing for the grand prize of $1 million at Capcom Cup 10. Head on over to CapcomProTour.com for more information.
And if you haven't had enough of the cool things that Capcom's been doing in the realm of Street Fighter, well, guess what? We got one more thing coming at you. Introducing Buckler's Bootcamp, a free game that is linked mobile-friendly into the website. That's right. It's going to be a game-linked, mobile-friendly website packed with features supporting your enjoyment of Street Fighter 6. Check out your player data, as well as a bunch of your rivals, your friends, clubs, ranking information, and more at the ease of your fingertips with this entire database. You can also find information on other characters, in-game events, the rewards and updates that are all included within Street Fighter 6. I know the Battle Hub is a very interactive place to kind of find this out. Well, guess what? Buckler's Bootcamp is also another avenue to do so. There's also a column where Street Fighter developers discuss the secret story behind the creation of the game. That's something I'm really looking forward to checking out myself. So again, please be sure to make a use of the Buckler's Bootcamp, especially that QR code down at the right. Be sure to register now and enjoy fulfilling the fighter life. Man, I gotta do this read over again because y'all are killing me with this one. But Buckler's Bootcamp, it looks really sick, right? Yeah. The intention behind it is to get all of the in-depth information that you need from not just the characters, but like your fellow players, also the tournaments that they run during Battle Hubs, but also just like the in-depth stuff of the Street Fighter lore, because this is the first time I feel like they've really dove into the creation of the story and trying to make it all like cohesive and coherent. So it's been really cool to see all of this tie in, and you get that inside peek. Be sure to scan in that QR code. In the meantime, we do have the rest of our top 16 halted just a little bit, but after this break, we will continue all the action as we pursue the rest of our top 8. It's been really hot and heavy so far in the losers bracket, and it's going to continue to do so, especially after this break. Stay tuned.
You're really making all of this by hand.
Oh yeah. The avocados are hand mashed, the chips are hand tossed, and everything is made fresh.
You make it fresh every day?
Yes, every day. The Chipotle way is we make it fresh every day.
Sounds delicious.
Street Fighter 6.
Fighting is an art. And this is our canvas. Here, we flex our style, our passion, our creativity, our skills. We come here to break rules, to bend minds, to change the game. This is where we make an impression. This is where we make our masterpiece.
Street Fighter 6.
Available now.
CPT 2023 World Warrior Program. You guys all know what it is. It rewards consistency, and we see the best players from around the world compete in their regions. And today we are putting a spotlight on Mexico. Brian, this region has a few storylines going on.
Yeah, when we first were looking at this region, I think the big story we were thinking of was Sol V&G being #1 ranked after 2 World Warrior events for Mexico. He got a 4th place and a 2nd place finish, showing his consistency, and therefore he's #1 ranked. And he has a modern Luke. That is his main. That's what he gets the job done with, showing that you can use modern controls and have consistency in these super stacked tournaments. So that was like the headline we wanted to go with originally. But upon further review, we missed a little detail here. We have Lou Gabo in 1st place for World Warrior #1 in Mexico. And this name rung a bell because I saw a random comment on YouTube when I had played this player in ranked who mentioned that this player is apparently 14 years old and is winning CPT World Warrior events in Mexico with Kimberly. And I found a tweet to confirm it. We had the picture and everything. So yeah, Lugabo with Kimberly, 14 years old, won a CPT World Warrior event in Mexico. Super stacked region. We've been watching for years now.
Yes, bro.
And new blood in the scene doing work. And their Kimberly is nasty. Trust me, when I was struggling in ranked against
with
them,
Kimberly
I did not think they were 14 years old. Plays well beyond their years.
Bro, listen, you know what this is? It's an announcement, man. It's sounding an alarm. It's over for us, man. It's done. This kid is only 14. We see the end of Walking Step of the World.
Yes. Lugabo would be like, what, barely entering high school at this point?
Yes,
and,
bro. He don't even have certain life experiences.
Players who've been playing for well over 14 years. I mean, I've been playing, I think, Street Fighter at this point for almost 14 years. And this kid, for their entire life, I've been practicing, and they're winning World Warrior tournaments. So huge shout outs to Lugabo. I mean, that is unreal.
Make sure you guys are signing up for these tournaments, man. You see right now, people from all around the world, different ages, backgrounds, and of course, even characters. Yes, that means you too, JP players. Brian, why I gotta throw strays at you, bro? Why I always gotta do that?
That sounded inviting to me. That's the most positive JP comment I've heard since Street Fighter 6 release, so I appreciate that, Rob.
Make sure you guys sign up if you want more hospitality like this and some good games. CapcomProTour.com/schedule to find your region's World Warrior.
And welcome back to the CPT Central America East Tournament. We are down in the loser side. It's time to toe tag him and bag him and send him out of here. My name is St. Cole. I'm with Vicious. How are you thinking about this action, my guy?
I mean, it's been very interesting to say the least. I feel like we had a little bit of a shakeup. I was a little bit wrong too. We talked about only 2 matches. I feel like one of those matches went down a little bit faster than the others. That was my bad. I'm gonna take the full blame on that one. But the fact of the matter is, it was pretty explosive, right? We saw the power of both G-Roy and Brian D. Mostly from Brian's side, though. We talked about how they were in the same breath of conversation when it comes to the pride and power of the Dominican Republic, right? We talked about that with Mena in an interview prior. But fast forwarding into what we had just seen between Louis Man and Joker, that was actually a slugfest. It was pretty intense, but at the same time, towards the end of it, it was a wild scramble where I legit was I was dumbfounded. I'm like, I don't even know how to call that sequence. That's kind of interesting. But it establishes this the same way, right? We have G-Roy versus Taxo in round 2. Jimmy's still waiting his opponents between HDCM as well as Solid Paha Hands. Obviously, we have Saint Fox versus Louis Man now, and then Mono also awaiting his fate between Edward Ting versus Balanjon.
A lot of great action to go through and a lot of people to send home, unfortunately, as we whittle our way down to the top 8 spot for tomorrow, where we will crown a champion to move on to the Capcom Cup Finals. But again, just overall, it's been great to see this action. Some of the matches have been one-sided, but you still see the level of play overall from all of these cats. And again, this is a tight-knit scene, a community that is really focused on playing fighting games and then, playing them together, like a build together. We talked about how, Red Rooster, just in general, Agent Fidelity, from his side of things, brought up by the likes of Mono. And actually, Red Rooster helping out my boy, Solid Paja Hands, who, has maybe encountered a little bit more on the anime side of things, but is out here in the streets of Street Fighter 6 playing that jury.
Yeah, we have both of these players representing Puerto Rico when it comes down to where their allegiance is. But yeah, HCCM, I think goes from, I think it was like another name that they've gone by before. I might be mistaken, but we're looking at a Guile versus Jury matchup. Now, we've seen, I think, the most juries we've seen thus far in a CPT from this match, or like from this region in general. But in fact, it's going to be Edward Ting going up against Balance John. I thought it was going to be the other way around. We thought HDCM was going to be ready for it, but it's going to be Edward Ting instead coming up next versus Balance John.
Balance John, 34 years old. Edward Ting on the 25. I like to see the variance of age out here, meaning that nobody is not able to play, the young and the old. But it's going to be DJ versus Ken. Old? Listen,
old?
Older. We see people like the 11-year-old we just saw win. I think the age gap
14,
is lowering.
Bro. It's 14,
it's lowering down, bro. Like, when you hit 30, can we still play fighting games? I don't know. But apparently we can.
Sakonoko was born in the 70s, bro. All right? Like, he can do it.
That's
but
true.
Don't talk about old like that, man. Aren't you older than 34? Don't come on, man.
Hey, I am actually.
Why are you throwing us under the bus, bro?
Recto crack. Oh, yeah, you are my.
I'm not your age.
You're closer, right?
I mean, I'm close.
Yeah.
I'm younger. But people don't know that. It's fine. Anyways.
Okay, we're going to keep that on line. We'll keep that on line.
You're throwing everybody under the bus, man. Old. Come on, man. But either way, the fact still stands. Edward Ting versus Balance John. That's going to be DJ versus Ken. Now, this is a matchup that we've literally just seen like not too long ago as well. Like even whether it's in a CPT event, whether it's in a World Warrior event, I feel like this is a very common occurrence. DJ is at the cusp, I feel like, of being a phenomenal character. I feel like he's great right now.
Yeah,
I think he's great right now. But I think he's still being discovered and trying to be, figured out to the nth degree of top tier, right?
Yeah, consistency I think is one of the things that I think the DJ players are looking for, because he can definitely get the damage. He's got great normals. It's just what we talked about before. Picking your shots right. Do not want to lift up these normals that drive. Impactable. Not far enough for the throw though. The DP, no Dragon Lash side switch here from John.
Damn, look at the damage too. But I love the plus scenario for the strike throw. Oh man, reversal, Dragon Lash super. Why not? I like that. OD Jackknife, that's how you feel against the Dragon Lash. I love that as a response to, because you're coaching anyway, right?
Yeah, you're already charging. Let it fly. Careful though with the Sobat, the OD Fireball, no trade combo from either side. Oh, back heavy kick, got the side switch. Unfortunate.
That was actually like a long time for him to get that punish too. As soon as that run was initiated, he was already mid-air.
The leg was up, he's already going down. Don't hit Satsu.
Oh, that was meaty as hell. Oh, Just Cool. Just covering a lot of the ground too. The Just Cool low end, it just covers a lot of that space. They could potentially get a punish counter, but I feel like it's still too far to even try to get like a link or a continuation off of it.
I get close enough, I see. Drive rush back though, yes sir. All right, now the party starts, but there's the anti right there, a little too obvious.
Oh! That's unfortunate. We talked about a lot of the lateral movements that some of these characters can kind of abuse, so I think neutral jump is a really great look against those tactics. No side switch. Oh, I don't know what that was. Edward Ting, he doesn't really have a shot to do drive impact, but drive rush is still on the table. The burnout is there now.
That's in the waters. Yeah, this is just playing as safe as possible here for John. All he needs is one hit to do it, one fireball. One simple, just a slight breeze would kill him right now. On the other side of things, Ed has that CA in play. Looking to get that drop impact. Oh!
Not far enough. Not far enough.
He needs it. Definitely in kill range now.
Ooh, unnecessary too. Even after that, like he was going to be hit because of the recovery of the fireball. OD fireball from Cami is just so good to even follow through afterwards. So even if Edward Ting had a little bit more life left, best believe that drive rush forward would have clipped him. But anyways, Jackknife maximum, get him off and we balance still. What was that?
Recovered, got the air to air right there.
That was sick.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. Still going in for these drive rushes continuously, even though they've been checked the challenge. Drive impact though, gets a splat off the Jinrai, lets a level 3 fly.
So smart too.
Yeah, kill that drive gauge.
He did it very early. He didn't want the rest of the Jinrai to continue because of the buildup on the drive gauge. So him utilizing sacrificing a little bit of that damage to go right into level 3 was totally fine. Oh my god.
Burnout Stay looking for drive impact or crosscut DP. You know, I know. You're about to leave, and the OD fireball finishes the job. Good stuff from John, just being really oppressive. Even though there's a lot of drive rushes that come through, obviously, for DJ, or most characters that have that range, we see the neutral jumps catching and challenging that. We see the challenge for crouching light punch over and over again. John's on point with it.
All the drive rushes being utilized now. We get the target combo after the standing medium punch. Twice over, really. Forward throw. And I love that response from Balance John. Again, that's just a strike throw mix-up. You are extra plus on that, actually, if they're still stuck crouching.
Look at that jump pierce again. Just the cancel, that's punishable right there. The knockdown, no drive rush. Now it is. The back heavy kick fireball. And the easy walk in with the crouching medium punch. Ed bringing it back from the brink here.
Ed, you say. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. The big jump in. It's going to be a huge corner carry, but more so the damage, too. That is so much just outputting.
Medium forward, medium kick.
Oh, yes.
Drops the knees on him. He's got that level 3. Oh,
Hell
yeah.
dead. That is a perfect. Damn, Edward Ting. I tell you, that's Edward Ting's in it. That's what it is. Level 3. So much damage as well. Man, this was a, 2.5 touch sequence from Edward?
I feel like if you show people, like, hey, man, this is what DJ can do, like, they start believing in this character a little bit more. At the beginning, they did. It was just mostly drive rush, but it's the damage that you can dump out. His normals are pretty good when they land. You have to be careful about how you utilize some of these normals. You can't be errant with them. They are drive impactable, but look at this. The pressure continuously from the side of Edward. The feints, too, as well. When everything is on point with this character, like, how do you stop the momentum? Drive impact right back, though, is the way.
Nice and easy with the target combo into the side split. We appreciate that. A little bit more could be left on the, or was left on the table, but this was everything for Edward, getting that side switch as well. But awkward sequence between both now.
And burnout, but not out of options. Drop kick again. Yeah, perfect spacing for the anti. Just waiting for him to jump. Parry, I like that. Do something different instead of blocking it out.
That wasn't a punish counter, by the way, because it was a B shot. It just leaves you at a +2 scenario with perfect parry. So Edward wasn't actually ready. He didn't get punished off of that, by the way. So something to keep in mind. The burnout, no longer a situation for Edward. That's going to be it, though. Yeah, as soon as he landed the OD fireball, he was able to continue off the combo. Match point, looking for Edward Ting.
This time blocks up the stand fierce. There's a throw, though. What a tag. My man is definitely teching for gain deal life, and that might be something that John locks onto. Ooh, I like that idea to neutral jump fierce to catch some of these buttons. Might come into play later.
Oh, yeah, not in time for the cross cut, perhaps. He wasn't ready for it. Balance John. Oh, boy. He got caught. What was that? Forward dash, then a back dash, perhaps?
Yeah. Back dash got caught with the ODDP.
2-4.
Sweep off the feet with the crouching medium kick. Now introducing that option continuously. Impact. Now you're in burnout, though. Not bad if you were able to get that kill. Get that level 3.
Oh, that's him out of the corner. Forward throw. You got to drive rush forward. No, he's still. Oh, too late. Way too late. Final game, final round between the two. Now Balance again. Utilizing that neutral jump is everything against a DJ player that likes the drive rush, right? If you're too predictive with it, then you're going to get stopped. But man, that was a big stop. Standing light kick to stop the drive rush from Ken altogether. That was really, really slick.
Stagger step a little bit to wait it out against the drive impact. Very smart stuff. And now he's not even going to that well because he's so afraid of that neutral jump. Taking it off the table for just a little bit. The tech does not connect. Parries the fireball, sends up the fireball, but gets clipped with the stand medium kick. Lets it rip, bro. Edward is on point with these DPs. The personal timings are fantastic.
It's hard to call right now. Yeah, Balance John, he's just looking for an opportunity for Edward to force the error, I think. You know, he's looking forward to the drive rush, but instead it's Edward who still manages to get the big opening into this level 3. Now, it's not going to put him into burnout just yet, if I'm not mistaken, but I couldn't tell how much he had prior. Yeah, just about living still.
Almost have to get hit at this point because now you're in burnout. It's basically it right here. Edward has afterwards said to get the win, and he did. He got hit with the level 3 trying to drive rush in. Okay, this builds up some more bar. You're still in burnout, but so is he.
I'm looking for Dragon Lash. Oh, there it is. Forward throw, more than enough damage. Edward Ting moving on and eliminating Balance John. Now, there was an idea there. You know, we talked about what happens in burnout from that far away. After a level 3, it's just enough for a Ken player to kind of initiate with a Dragon Lash, get the plus frames as well. So that's really, I felt like that was up to Balance to kind of initiate that out the gate instead of kind of like throwing off a different look with the standing jab. That just gave Edward a little bit more time to react, right?
like the ideas that were introduced from John to do these neutral jumps, but then it was when that's taken off the table, we just see, delayed drive rush, maybe see like a dash up or just like a walk up or comfortability with these buttons back up on the table from the side of Edward. And man, when you got those sequences going full, you see the damage this character can put out. You see why this character can be considered top tier out here. And it just takes a little bit of work with these combos. Quarter pressure was really good too as well. Dropping those knees continuously, didn't really find the answers continuously from the side of John. And Edward, man, it just felt like he was strong everywhere up on the screen, like full screen see these OD fireballs, drive rush, stand fierce, of course, as you would continue to see from this character. There were some good moments, but also, the cash outs were very good from the side of Edward, putting him in burnout and making a one-touch kill right there. And that means he moves on to fight once again in a DJ mirror. That's against Mono.
That's rough.
That's rough, bro.
That's actually kind of rough, too. That's something I'm looking forward to seeing, like who will be the dominant DJ down below. It sucks that they have to eliminate each other. Like I personally want to see a little bit more DJs out in the playing field. I'm a big fan of that character. But overall, man, this is how it's fleshed out into round 2. We still have one more game to go through. It's the battle of the Puerto Ricans. It's going to be HCCM versus Solid Paha Hands.
Solid Paha Hands, as we talked about, has been moving over to the Street Fighter scene for a little bit and playing that jury, trained by Ajax Fidelity out here for the Red Rooster team. HD on the Guile, even more Guile play. I feel like this is one of those matchups that jury players just don't like. The zoning play is difficult to deal with. That forward medium kick, Sobato going over the fireball, which you like to initiate. His buttons have that good medium range to check and challenge what she wants to do. Maybe not, I don't know if she wins that or he wins that matchup, but it definitely seems like it's difficult overall when I watch it.
Yeah, I think it stops a lot of what jury players want to do, right? I think Guile Sonic Boom out the gate is going to be a lot more of a presence to stop Jury from throwing out her fireballs. She has to second guess when she could kind of drive rush forward. I think that eliminates her gameplay from even drive rushing forward, right? That's one of the biggest things that Jury players like to do. Obviously, there's still going to be the option of countering the fireball, reading it correctly with like the dive kick.
Yeah.
But that also requires like the right read, the right timing, the right spacing. All three of those components, if you can get that consistently against a Guile player, then you'll have yourself like the formula to success. But for the most part, it's like even just thinking about the initial strategy of getting past the Sonic Booms is so difficult, right? And even to back that up, Guile can bully you. Don't get it twisted. Like he's not going to be just playing the fireball game. It depends on the caliber of player, obviously, but I think Guile's normals can do enough to shut down anybody in this game. And I think Jury is definitely going to be susceptible to that.
Even more so all of this, that drive rush right after these Sonic Booms too as well to initiate anywhere on the screen makes him a threat everywhere. I mean, Guile is a fantastic character, bro, and we'll see what Solid has in store. And I'm curious to see how he's been working out with this game. I saw him at the very beginning of Street Fighter 6. They were streaming Ajax Fidelity and my boy Chupi and a few other people out there in Puerto Rico were streaming and like practicing with the game. And I'm really cool. It's cool to see him like stick with the game. I'm very excited for him in his top 16 spot, but he may be stopped and dropped by the likes of HD's Guile.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. This is the character, or this is the players that I was actually looking forward to. We had a little bit of an issue where you had to postpone the matches, but this is it right here. Guile versus Jory. We'll see who's going to be moving on. There was time. There was definitely time for at least an anti-air from the side of HD.
Can come from his side. Unfortunate. Good parry. He called it out. Drop right there. Could have been a little bit more up on the table. She has to get it together. This is a matchup where you have to put them on the back foot with Sonic Booms and those fantastic normals.
Oh, that was just enough for the burnout as well. Yeah, building up some of that meter. Oh, HD, you're sneaky, man. That was actually kind of disgusting. Unnecessary. Oh, don't get this overhead, too.
Looking for it. Drive rush overhead, crush meter kick, or OD Sonic Boom. As you mentioned, stopping the drive rush from coming through. Again, quick and hard to deal with.
Counter hit, man, just enough too because he was within range. That crouching jab, being able to link after that counter hit, crouching medium kick was so beautifully done. HD forward throw set up. Yes, they're setting up the Sonic Booms.
There's that dive kick. One way to play, anti-fireball. Drive rush throw, gets a punish counter too as well. Back medium kick, not sure what he's looking for there. Does get the back, but puts him up in the corner. Drive rush.
That was sick. That was so cool to look at. Oh, level 1. Get a little bit of, yeah, he's going to spend a little bit of that extra damage. See in the top left. Spent both of the Fuha storages.
Impact works out. This is bad. Against Guile and Burnout. He's a bear in a Burnout. Oh, you better kill. Next hit. Solid. HD. But then they need to activate.
Are we going to see the solid puncher? Maybe that was it.
You send out ASAP. Still.
Yeah.
Saves a bar for what, the next match where you already took the W.
He's making a statement. I don't need the ball.
No. You'll need the power up. HD on game point right now.
Oh. Again, we talked about some of the normals from the mid-range. Guile able to bully you with those said normals, right? It's going to be a very common occurrence when you face off against a Guile. And almost towards the corner, but Solid, as soon as I said it, man, Solid was also having a really great rebuttal session against HD up until that point of the OD uppercut. It was bound to happen, right?
That's true. It's out and about. Staying fierce as the punish. This should be enough. Yeah, level 1 to get it done. Clean it up ASAP. HD on set point. You know, you see that the Sonic Blade coming out just to tantalize the idea of, like, if you want to try to jump in or dive kick, you'll get flash kick. From parry back throw, try to get the overhead, parry, the trade. Not bad for HD, puts a full screen.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do as Guile, right? That trade-off is going to be 9 times out of 10 way, way better for any Guile player. I think the damage output also is severely in Guile's favor in comparison.
Nice late to get that anti-air, the cross-up. Back to the crouch fierce anti-air. Yeah, he's definitely a Guile player. You see how he's utilizing the right anti-airs at the right spaces. Not just about the flash kicks. That crouch fierce is fantastic too.
The Solid way to start things off too. A lot of drive gauge being utilized. Solid, nope, that's going to be towards the corner. Not just yet, but you got to be able to spend it right. Uh-oh, Solid puncher. Yeah, that's it. That's it. More than enough damage. Yeah, Solid also having the critical art is one thing. But when he sets up with Solid Puncher and bats up just a little bit, it's like, you know, even if you're in vulnerability, you're not going to get past these booms. You're not even going to reach me, even if you do get past some of these booms. That was some really veteran gameplay from the side of HD.
Good understanding of, you know, what happens up in this game and, you know, good stuff for HD. To move on in the bracket, his reward is to fight Jimmy DR. That'll be a Marisa versus Guile match. And, you know, shout out to Solid for coming through again. You know, seeing him in these top 16 spots playing Street Fighter is always great to see. That's the Red Rooster team really showing out in this bracket. Now, speaking of the bracket, G-Roy is going up against Taxto as our next match, as our round 2.
Oh boy, this is the marquee matchup that everybody has been highlighting for the last couple of weeks now. It's gonna be, you know, JP versus Ken, G-Roy versus Taxto. Now, we've seen the glimpses of G-Roy. I feel like, you know, we didn't really get to see like the potential that he has as a JP player just yet, just due to the fact that Brian had such a dominant performance, and that's like the only way to really highlight it is just Brian just happened to have the clear upper hand against G-Roy. It's not to say that he's a bad player at all, right? It's just another chance right now for G-Roy to show off and highlight his JP. The same can be said for Taxto, right? Taxto was actually the one that took down his first W from the loser side against Clivis, and this is his moment to kind of take down one of the greats that has been talked about, right, from the side of the Dominican Republic. We talked about, you know, Mena highlighting this player as well. So we'll see how this plays out. JP versus Ken. I mean, we've seen how it's gone down at a upper echelon from other regions, I should say.
Continuously.
Yeah, so it's going to be difficult to call this one.
Taxi, we looked back at his game plan. He was really about getting that corner pressure ASAP, expeditiously trying to get Grizzly and put you in the corner and maul you as Ken would like to. So if you are G-Roy, you need to be looking at that match, or at least studying that match and saying, how do I avoid that situation from happening? Also, what are these tendencies that he's going for? I have OD amnesia, but when am I going to send that out? When am I going to place that out? And also, when am I going to go for parry instead? And switching up the defensive options is going to be very, very important here.
It's going to be tough. I want to see what he does also on offense. I want to know what he does to keep Ken at bay, to stop him from drive rushing forward, to stop him from utilizing some of these normals that'll like outpace him or at least out position him, I guess. Roundhouse is really great from Ken, obviously. Standing heavy punches is pretty active. But for the most part, I think JP has what it takes to kind of like out-footsie Ken to a degree, right? Outside of just fireballs. I think his normals are pretty well-rounded to stop a lot of people, a lot of buttons in neutral. So we'll see how that plays out. Most of the time, I see JP's kind of being able to utilize their cane in the right space, and crouching medium punch is such a great blow-up tool against drive rushes as well. Standing medium kick could be a great footsie tool, a counter-poking tool at that, to be specific. So we'll see how it plays out overall. I think, you know, G-Roy, again, having another shot at life is going to be more beneficial to him to get his, you know, his wake-up call in comparison to Taxto.
That's true. You have one more chance, one more opportunity. Taxto, though, can he get in? You want to get in like that mid-range against this character and then start the drive rush party. A little bit easier to hide that intention. I was watching Angry Bird talk about how he deals with JP. Also with the fireballs too as well. If you get mid-range, that's going to help out against the ghastly ghosts that are sent out here continuously. Can I get in? No.
So expensive.
No.
And G-Roy, he's willing to spend that bar too. If he sets up the sandwich with a double departure, back throw, this is going to be a reset of the situation. Yeah, full screen command grab. He's making sure that Taxo was not asleep at the wheel. Damn, that was the farthest reaching Tatsu I've ever seen in my life to punish. That was crazy.
And it works out. Yeah, puts him in the corner. So jump, empty throw. Of course, you're so worried about Amnesia taking things back from you as one of the best reversals. Not the best in the business. To not get the follow-up. Will drive rush stand fierce, but still has him right where he wants him. If he can exercise some damage, bro. Game burnout is real bad against this character. And he's got level 2.
Oh, now he puts himself in the corner. The tech throw. It's going to be G-Roy being able to set up. No, he actually got the juggle against the startup with a Dragon Lash. That was interesting.
Not set up level 2 just yet. There's a jump in right here. So I was with the Dragon Lash, the jump back, fade away, and play. That jump medium punch with so much range. Really good tool to jump back with and to catch things like just drive rushes, dashes, and also Dragon Lashes. Oh, we're in the drive rush stand fierce situation in the DP ender.
Get the forward throw. Get to establish that again. One of the biggest things we talked about is when is that OD Amnesia going to come out? It doesn't come out this time. Taxto manages to land. Man, there was a reversal of something on G-Roy, but Taxto being able to land so many different looks and so many sequences thus far. Forward throw again.
Bad mistake.
Someone say steak. Yo, Taxto calling G-Roy out defensively. He's like, I don't give a damn. Go ahead and throw that Amnesia. Let me see you initiate it first before I become scared of it. There it is.
Against the Dragon Lash. Pretty good option to lock him down. Get the side switch. Now gets the MP low, level 3 immediately to get that lead and kill some of that gauge. But more importantly, I like the lead. I like the corner position. We'll see if Taxo has what it takes to get in. Not a lot of space between them. You know, there is some range. But the OD departure, more importantly.
What a pickup. Yo, G-Roy, that was actually kind of clean. After the OD departure had settled, Taxo did get clipped initially. The forward, oh man. The drive rush forward into the overhead. Taxo wasn't ready for it. It's going to be more than enough damage. If G-Roy didn't kill over that fierce, best believe he had so much more in the OD tank to do it.
You see G-Roy just very comfortable in these mid-range areas where Taxo isn't just yet. When he's got him in the corner, Taxo is vibing and surviving. But outside of that, it doesn't look like it. Trying to get a jump, and he does actually get to jump in, countering combo. Again, enhanced Tatsu for a lot of Oki backs off looking for that Amnesia. Air to air right there with a jump light kick. Trade. So harassing with that crouching medium kick, bro.
That low medium kick is such a it's such a button, bro. That's all I can say.
It's a button.
It's such a button, man. That is such a great counter poking tool as well. Just throw it out there.
The stop sign. Pierce, Mr. Slash.
How many conversions has G-Roy gotten off of these departures? This is a totally different G-Roy in comparison to Winner's Side, right? This is a much more comfortable G-Roy in the way that he's performing. Some of these conversions off of departure aren't the easiest to hit.
They really aren't. You have to have that awareness right there. Also watching your opponent, what they're going to do on defense too as well. But like, I think you're right. This is a different sort of G-Roy that we're seeing. He knows this is his last shot, his last opportunity, and lands that level 2. The medium. Let's see what it do. Yeah, give me that corner carry. Pierce, stand Pierce. Oh, the damage.
Departure right in front of him as well. Oh, he could have let the departure go because he sets it up exactly for that scenario, but still, he tried to throw a Phantom out.
Yeah, no snap immediately. Never showing the stand Pierce. You see him back up to find a whip punish. Bro, the footsies on this dude.
So well done. So well placed, too. Go. Keep going.
You need a miracle. Spiritual miracle right now. The Tatsu working out. Okay. Base of the Amnesia. See how things start. Tatsu, no enhance though. Puts him in the corner. No crosscut DP. That could have been a lot more.
I think he didn't want to risk it. Oh, yeah, I don't think he was comfortable with the range to do it. That's going to be the punish of it. Yes, sir. G-Roy not going to let that slip through his hands again. That's the second time, third time, really, that we've seen that option exercise. Now, he literally had gone through it and blocked it a couple of sequences ago. Missed his opportunity for the punish. But once he saw it again, he's like, you know what? I'm going to punish nice and easy. He went for the crouch jab punish, by the way. He did not want to drop that. So really, really fortunate for G-Roy that Taxto would kind of go to that well again. But unfortunately for Taxto, that is the end of his tournament run, 0-2.
Yeah, good kid. Just I like the corner pressure, but the mid-screen presence just was not there. I'd like to see more of those fireballs. After watching Angry Birds, way to fight JP with Ken, I definitely took a lot of tips, and fireballs were the way to kind of establish the neutral and keep it a little more solid. But even then, G-Roy is just his defense, how he's backing up with punishing, leads him to a top 8 loser spot to try to get revenge tomorrow.
That's huge, right? Man, G-Roy, also representing the Dominican Republic, had to take another brethren down via Taxto, but that's just how it goes, right? But moving on into the next 3, these are going to be very, very important to establish our top 8, and it's been pretty diverse, too.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Jimmy DR go up against HD, CM, of course, Same Fox up against Louis May in mono versus Edward Ting. That's going to be a DJ on DJ mirror. Fantastic action. You know what also has fantastic action?
What, St. Cola?
Street Fighter League Japan. We wake up every single week, it feels like, plus even more days sometimes, as we have now passed the first stage. The first stage, was currently underway. Japan's best players out Street Fighter 6 in this team-based format. If you haven't seen it, you should check out all the VODs on Capcom Fighters as me and Vicious commentate all of the action, plus other people guest starring Femi, Jake, and maybe more. But we have entered the second stage for this game, for the team tournament right here. Make sure you keep it locked and loaded when we return in October 10th, I believe.
That is correct. Yeah, we've had a couple of surprises in the entirety of the first phase, and I will say it is a big surprise considering who had not made it into the second cut. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I don't know how up to date you guys are, but let's just say this, one of the top prospects, man. You got to check out how they performed during their final weeks of the first half. With that in mind, we still have so much more in the realm of Street Fighter 6, and not even just through Street Fighter 6 itself. In fact, we talked about the Buckler's Bootcamp not too long ago. If you want to take a break from all of that and have a different approach in the Street Fighter lore, head over to Buckler's Bootcamp where you can play Pockets. That's right, Pockets, a mini game in which you develop your character by training the cute little chibi versions of them.
Oh.
And it's kind of, it's a very interesting system, right? You could train your character, you could feed them, make sure they're well equipped for battle, and duke it out against other Pockets users using their characters as well. But the service is based on the model Praise and Develop, which is the intention of Buckler's president. I don't even know who Buckler's president is, but I got to meet this person. Feel free to register as a member, and let's work up a good sweat together. Yeah! Make sure to get your Pockets of Pockets going in. I got to check it out for myself because this looks very, very interesting. I'm a very much so a mobile game person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still playing the hell out of Street Fighter Duel, but man, Pockets, it looks kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie. So again, it's all a part of Buckler's Bootcamp.
While you're checking that out, check out Chipotle. Well, he has joined hands with Capcom during this first year of Street Fighter 6. Download the app and order some carne asada back on the grill for a limited time. Y'all are making me way too hungry while I'm commentating some Street Fighter 6 action, but there's no place I'd rather go than Chipotle on that carne asada, dog. And look at how juicy that looks right there. All with a lot of guap on the top. And speaking of guap, there's a lot of guap on the line right now for this top 8 spot that we're heading into closer and closer and closer. We still have to send some more of these cats home, and we'll do so after this break. Don't go nowhere.
Chipotle's carne asada is back. It's our most tender cuts of steak, grilled and seasoned with cumin, oregano, and coriander. Finished with fresh lime and hand-chopped cilantro. Carne asada. This is our best steak ever.
Time to work, time to work. When inhaled, coriamyrtin blocks the gamma-aminobutyric acid receptors in the central nervous system, causing spasmodic muscle contractions.
Master, it's a work of art! It's perfect!
What to do with you now? So, shall we put him out of his misery? Time for some experimentation. I bet poison would work wonders on you. I wouldn't move if I were you. Poison's on the menu.
I present the Hunter from Komura.
TGS 2023 Capcom Online Special Program. Program starts September 21st, Thursday, 7 a.m. PDT. Dragon's Dogma 2. Resident Evil 4. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Exo Primal. Street Fighter 6. Get all of the latest Capcom news with this special program. Don't miss it on September 21st, Thursday, 7 a.m. PDT.
The fighting pride of Puerto Rico. This man has been putting his scene on the map to no end, from sponsorships to tournaments. Man, it's T.O.ing, and we've seen him win CEO, going against the best players in the world. We've seen him at Street Fighter League. The list goes on and the legend grows. My man's Mono! All of the work you're doing for the scene, at some point you were just a player.
Yeah.
And then now, you know, you transitioned into, you are still a high-level player, one of the best players in the world, but you've transitioned to a whole lot more. What went into that? When did that start?
Honestly, I was always a player, right? And the reason I started doing events in Puerto Rico is because there weren't that many frequent events. Like, I went to a tournament. After the tournament, I was like, when's the next one? Oh, like 8 months from now or something like that. They don't even know. I'm
8
like,
months?
Yeah, it's like, because the timeouts for that, they were like a brand that's arcades around Puerto Rico, but it was random. It was just one employee that was FGC that just wanted to do one, but they didn't allow them to do that many.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, bro, but I really want to play. I'm pretty sure of the people I met, they also would like more events. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. My first event was the wackest event you would ever go to. I forgot to buy food. I didn't even think about water. And then after that, I kept doing it in universities and big halls. And then all of a sudden, Convention Center, First Attack happened. First Attack already is on its 11th year this year. So, and then the team, I always wanted to be like part of a team, not just part of a team, but make a team in Puerto Rico, because there weren't official esports teams in Puerto Rico. Like PR Balrog was in Puerto Rico, but he left to get those opportunities. And I always felt sad about it because of the fact that there was really good talent in Puerto Rico, but everybody ended up leaving because they weren't gonna like develop an esports in Puerto Rico. So I've been working hard on that, and now Red Rooster is like a legit team that got on SFL. It has sponsorships of tourism, internet providers, and other brands. And now the venue is actually the newest thing. It's a gaming/restaurant, and hopefully I keep doing things that not just for me, because I feel like I'm already getting too old, but I really want more people like Fidelity, which is like a new generation of player. I want more players like him to have the opportunities that PR Balrog and me didn't have in Puerto Rico.
Earlier on.
Because we had to eventually, I stayed because I really wanted to push esports, but I should have left, right? A lot of people said to me, you should have left. So you would have done better as a player. But I also wanted to do First Attack, do events, keep growing my scene, and so I stayed.
Man, you found a way from Puerto Rico as well, and now instead of just going and making a way after leaving, you actually ended up bringing up your entire scene with you, and it's a beautiful thing to see. My man's Mono, one of the best players in the world, and my brother and DJ. Straight nooch, not top 5, only a top 7 character at best. React to Drive Rush or you trash. And now we have even more CPT action coming at you right now. Much love, Mono.
Oh, well, we got plenty of that. We got more straight nudes coming your way. That is for sure, because Mono is actually in the loser side. We still have plenty of more games to go through. 3 specifically, of course. Myself, Vicious, here with St. Cola to deliver all of the action to continue on who makes it into the top 8. That's right, for Central America East. This is their one shot to make it into Capcom Cup from the single qualifier outside of the World Warrior events. Obviously, you have to go through killers after killers in those World Warrior events, but being able to do so in just one shot this weekend, that's what a lot of these players are looking forward to.
You got to be on form the entire weekend. But, with the killers that are out here, it's going to be difficult no matter what. And I like that you point out that there is a World Warrior that they can go through, but that requires you to be out there continuously, getting the points and things like that, and still get that regional final. You might as well come through and get that one shot on the dot out here in that CPT qualifier and get it finished. We're going to be seeing who's finishing their sign up today. If you have not done so, right around here, you go ahead and put that in so you can get in and begin your journey towards that $1 million. That's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot. I can't even fathom what I would do with those. Yes, actually, I can.
I know exactly what I would do with $1 million.
What would
That
you
is
do?
for
What would you
sure. Move out of California. That's for sure. That is a guaranteed thing that I would be doing as soon as I got that $1 million. But enough about us. Let's talk about the bracket in hand. Right, our final 3 matches from the losers' side: Jimmy DR versus HDCM. Now, HD, long-awaited match. Actually, we had to postpone his match a little bit earlier. But I will say this: I was not expecting that caliber of consistency with the guy. That was actually clean cut 2-0. No offense to Solid, right? Again, it's just difficult to play that caliber of jury against a Guile player that has all the right ideas. So we're going to see all of those ideas again versus Jimmy DR. Then after that, Saint Fox versus Louis Man. That is also a matchup that I've been looking forward to, because Louis Man, again, he is one of the DR brethren, one of the guys, one of the pillars that we look forward to watching alongside the Menas, alongside the Kabas as well. But also, to final it out, Mono versus Edward Ting, the DJ mirror match.
Yeah, that's going to be sick. That's going to be dope. That's going to be our last match to finalize our top 8 for tomorrow. Let's get back up to the top right there. Jimmy DR going up against HD on the Guile. Now, wow, look at the disparity of ages out here. HDCM on the Guile, the 42-year-old, but Jimmy, 22 on the younger side of things.
He could be his dad.
Yeah, he really could.
HD could actually. He's been playing Street Fighter longer than he's been alive, I feel like. That's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. That's, it's not even like an uncommon occurrence in the FGC.
It really isn't. Yeah.
That's the craziest thing, man. I love it, though. I really do enjoy the fact that we have so many different fans of different disparities, different ages, different age groups.
Yeah.
And also putting in that work, because being in that stage of at the cusp of top 8, if he makes it into top 8, even better for this part of the conversation. But it's super impressive to see the age disparity not be a huge factor, especially in fighting games.
I mean, it's fine. Also, either way, old or young, doesn't matter which way comes through, because it feels like, FGC is for everybody, right? Fighting games are for everybody.
1,000%! Yes!
Everybody.
1,000%.
And that's why I love Street Fighter 6 and how it's been so inclusive. Let's see who's not going to be included in this top 8, though.
Oh. Man, pretty aggressive in the comparison to how he performed a little bit earlier, right? Jimmy DR didn't really get to utilize a lot of the Gladiuses as a bully tool, didn't really get to utilize some of the things against fireballs, but this is a whole different Jimmy. We actually get to see him play. Watch out for that.
Yeah. See, combos from this guy. Right, the buster resets it into the Gladius, gets the full charge, get the info, but there's the back throw, though. Now finds the shimmy, the finesse, and bless.
That is such a cool looking combo from the Sobot kick, but man, he knows the right ranges to get the proper legs. But the neutral jump, everybody has to be susceptible to that, right? That's been a Street Fighter 5 thing forever, just jumping in the corners.
Yeah, safe option right there. Didn't really have the charge problem, or didn't look like he had the charge to get the flash kick. Still, Jimmy playing a way better game. Almost got on the Gladius, has to be careful. Some recovery on that.
What?
No anti-air, no flash kick. You were charging, nothing came out. Can't have those mistakes against his character.
You were charging since Street Fighter 2. That was crazy. There's a Superman punch. Again, we didn't get to see that utilized at all. The neutral jump against the Gladius. Too far to get the link. He dropped the combo. Close to burnout as well. Speaking of burnout, Jimmy's the one that put himself in there. That's going to be death.
Oh, my Lord.
That's going to be death. I'm sorry.
Cannot make mistakes, bro. Against his character. Damn. Take all my love. Take all this damage. Jimmy being able to play the game now and be able to get the first game on the board with some dominance, some drops here from HD. But honestly, Jimmy's game plan in terms of, you know, with the dish out with character in terms of damage has been fantastic.
Ooh, that was sick! Yeah, that was actually kind of cool. I don't know what the idea was for HD, but I love that interaction. That save jump actually still hit. The armor on that, still in time to punish counter. It gets a little bit of a toss back to the corner.
Oh, bars off the table now. Here's a punish. See the loops. Sweet.
Jesus.
Get the knockdown. This time watch it with the stand pierce. Oh, back him up a bit. Anti-Street Fighter 6 with that armor. One more hit to seal it. Oh, you can't get hit.
Rodrigo, the Superman punch, and it's going to be the counter hit. Jimmy clipping HD right when he wanted to press a button. Very, very slick anti-air. You already know it, the flash kick, overhead incoming. But no, Jimmy, that back roll, getting him out of dodge too, could have been so dangerous for him.
Nice jump back. You don't have the best anti-airs in the business. You have to get predicted with the crouch fears. And I'm predicting my man about the melt. Oh, didn't get the full conversion though. See that bar being built up at the bottom, the side of Jimmy. He's almost on the verge of level 3. About to use victory if he lands one single conversion. OD flash kick. Don't recover.
GG's.
No.
GG's. That was a fast 2-0 again. Man, HD, to be fair, HD, I think there's just some unfamiliarity against what the Gladius punch is all about, right? It does have armor. It can absorb those hits, and it will 100% recover faster than any of your OD Dragon Punch attempts or OD flash kick attempts. That is not the right call. So one of the biggest things about that move is, as good as it is, having armor and all that, it is susceptible down below. And guess what? Guile does have those normals to contest down below. He has one of the better normals to kind of sweep people off their feet, check with low medium kicks. That has been like his primary tool, I think, to kind of stop against Marisa. But man, against OD Gladius, he had to change it up.
You see the pensiveness right there to get that anti-air, did not let it fly. Unfortunate. There's a, you know, we see the flash kick, but I think, you know, with, you know, you were talking about that target combo, like this one right here on block. Flash kick not working out. You can use Ken's ODDP because he can cut through. It's got that forward momentum, but not for the likes of Guile. The recovery just there for Marisa. And the fact that Jimmy was just aware to take advantage of every time that this happened, every time there was a whiff flash kick, it felt like man's lost half of his health, if not more. And again, that's not working out.
Yeah.
And can you see the recovery? That flash kick is not the way. Other reversals might work out, like I know Ken's does, but not
It's
Guile's.
different hits, right? You have multiple hits coming in from the Shoryu Reppa, like, or OD Shoryuken, right? It's forward movement. It's got multiple hits that's goes past 2. Of course, it's going to blow it up, but it's not really much of a thing to say. Like, you can't just use ODs against a move that has armor, right? You have to have the hits behind it in order to get rid of all the armor, or something that hits low, right? That's just the primary thing to look at when it comes to the Gladius tactic. But Jimmy DR, guess what? He gets the face off against G-Roy, another DR representative, filling in the top 8. Congrats to Jimmy. We actually got to see him play in the way that he wanted to, right? He had to face off against Ajax Fidelity. And to be honest, man, he looked lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
There's no other way to spin it. But against somebody, I feel like, against another matchup where it can be kind of difficult to close the gap against or consistently get damage against, he managed to solidify it. So really, really impressive, eliminating one of the big Guile threats.
I feel like after some of these cats have a match, they kind of warm up a little bit also too as well. So I'm hoping that is also maybe the case to kind of, you know, get the shakes off a little bit. This is loser side, so it's even more pensive of what you're going to do down here. Same Fox, Louis Man coming up. We'll also see if Louis Man is able to stay a little bit more solid, because I feel like there's a lot of scramble situations that he was in. I feel like Cami will continuously loop that Oki over and over again to make those moments even more punishable. Maybe not with damage, but continuous amount of pressure.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So it's going to be Saint Fox versus Louis Man. Now, a little bit of a shaky start for Louis Man. I'm pretty sure he would agree to that as well, but this is where he needs to clean it up. On the other hand, though, I feel like with Saint Fox, what's really interesting about Saint Fox, I feel like he actually had the right ideas against Hochi. It just fell short, I think, like towards the end of it, right? That Cami was looking pretty dominant in game 1. I think he's the one that started off with the W, if I'm not mistaken, against Hochi, but fell short either way. So it's going to be interesting. I think with the way that Saint Fox plays, it's going to be a little bit slower against the Dawson match. Now, I think Cami does a pretty decent job of getting past whatever it is that Dawson wants to do, and also like completely mauling him up close. But we'll see. Again, this is Street Fighter 6. This is like a different version of Dawson where they force you to really, really slow down, I think, right off the bat, especially with the amount of meter that you start off with primarily.
That's true. This character does have like a lot of like anti-fireball tools. You have to really think about that structure of, you know, fireballs that you were saying. Out, what a whip punch, the sweep off the feet he's in. Also, you know, what she gets off dive kicks makes her such a big threat, even more so against these limbs that will be hanging out a bit too long. So your sequence, your template of your normals has to be very on point for the side of Sim.
big opener down below, and that was just within range. St. Fox using the drive rush. We're going to get a regular sweep for the punish counter.
The teleport out, though. So blocked up in the corner, but the fireball will save the day. The trade, not bad. Blue Man needs a lot more on the deck, though.
Yeah, not bad at all for St. Fox, really. Just taking the rest of that fireball. Damn, what a whiff punish. The back heavy punch.
Again.
Pick up. Beautiful. Set up with the arch.
The trade. Do not let her get going and flowing. Not with that spin knuckle sequence. Do not let it happen. He backs up.
Oh, that's it.
Hit. Yeah. We fireball to seal it.
Can you have done? Oh man, could he have done anything else out of that? Probably not, huh?
Super wouldn't reach, would it? Level 1 probably wouldn't reach.
I mean, wouldn't go through fireball either way.
Yeah, no projectile involved. Back throw though on the back dash too as well. Early defense, now offense here from Louis May.
Got much forward. You already knew. Do it again. Is he going to spend bar to close the gap again? No, it's just forward dash this time. A subtle approach. He gets to do it again and again off of these throws. So long as Louis Man is not teching, he's going to be taking advantage of that.
Maybe try to bait something out with that drive rush in, make it a little bit more ambiguous. Slow pace that you talked about. Drive impact right back. Louis Man try to pull a sneaky one on him. Allows this man to get them. He's going to spend that level 2.
Ugh. Close to burnout 2? There it is. Yeah, this is going to be a tough spot for Louis Man now. As long as St. Fox doesn't go for a sequence that has a gap in it, I think he might be fine. But yeah, he's more than prepared. Yeah, I think that's totally fine. He'll take that trade combo, even if it's a frame trap. St. Fox, I got to say too, like, even if that situation didn't arise, I feel like one spiral arrow would have been enough. Right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely been a choice option to kill. Still, Louis Man with a lot of bar at the bottom. We've seen this character dump out the bar for the damage. See if that happens, if they find those sequences. But that slow-paced gameplay, I feel like, has been making it difficult. Bro, that's still anti. It felt like her feet were almost on the ground. But still, staying fierce. Ends it with the spiral arrow. Frame kill for the throw. I know, too, as well. Deep with the crouch fierce. No press here. Finally, Louis Man trying to get that back, though. Not going to happen.
Important tech as well. That would have been a big game changer for Louis Man. Had he landed that throw, but still teleporting into his face. St. Fox still trying to contest with the roundhouses, but more often than not, Louis Man hasn't even been within that range to get clipped by it.
That's true. And more of these fireballs, actually, very brave. These fireballs seem like these normals covering that space.
And I'm liking this too. Louis Man just watching the approach. The anti-air is there. That would have been so sick if you got the pick up.
And then burnout. Still not bad for him. He just needs one hit. Level 3 to seal it. Less than that. Base out the impact. Yeah. Teleports out of there with that jump fierce. He's aware. And Louis Man looking way more stable and solid than we've seen him previously.
A little bit more so, yeah. I think his movement options have been very, very clean thus far. He's really playing that keep away status to the utmost degree to annoy St. Fox, but this is where St. Fox gets to shine, right? As soon as he actually lands that offense, he's up close like this, he's able to initiate his offense. So this is where he gets to play, but at the same time, he's not afraid of Louis Man going for the teleports because he does get those juggles. He will spend the resources to get the damage and also the corner carry, despite it being on the other side.
That's true.
Oh, up until that point, though, Louis Man being very tricky with the movement.
DP, side switch. Real good to see that reversal option come through finally. The more that Louis Man has to think about. Drive, rush, throw, yoga, noogie.
Do it again. Force him to spin that bar. Yeah, St. Fox, I don't think he'd want to do OD uppercut at this point, right? He's going to put himself at burnout. Yeah,
he tried for it, but yeah.
He's trying to bait him out. Oh, whip punish. He backdash just outside of range.
Now you're definitely burnout, and this is the Baron of burnout. That's it. We talked about this character killing the gauge, not just the player, but just also the choices of like sand fears, fireball, and things like that whittle away that gauge. Before you know it, you're down all that drive gauge. You're down some health too as well. It's conversion.
I don't even know what happened earlier because St. Fox actually got punish counter for something earlier by Louis Man. But now looking at match point, he's looking a lot more comfortable than he was in the previous game that he was a part of. Louis Man, he still has that fireball to back him up. Drive rush forward. St. Fox is looking for that big opening. That was a big air from the side of Louis.
Good air right there. Yoga, teleport, the Yoga Mummy. The side switch, he's out of there. From parry, just to get in that walk-in throw. There we go. Drive rush throw. Yeah, caught the parry right there. Extra damage because it's punish counter. Oh, there we go. Yeah, leaving some damage, leaving some corner carry. More importantly,
oh, he can do it again. Oh, Louis Man pressing buttons on wake up despite being at a one-touch scenario. And I like that confidence. Is he going to try to build himself out of the corner or will he get burnt out first? He does get burnt out first. It's a matter of trying to get out now or landing the single hit. If the single hit goes into critical art, Louis Man gets it! He does get it! Is it going to be more than enough damage? There was only a couple hits. That has to be it. That has to be it. Not a lot of scaling involved. He's barely alive!
Just by a little bit. The magic pixel was just one hit to do it. Just one have to whip out a fireball. You really can't. CA. Oh, Louis Man.
No way. You caught him flinching at that moment, Louis.
Two on the arm.
That is crazy. You caught St. Fox moving? That's crazy. What a clutch match for Louis Man. That is unprecedented. I cannot believe he got away with that. Whew. I genuinely cannot. He caught him moving. He caught him moving up.
I think he wanted to walk in to get that spiral arrow possibly.
Or even walking backwards, just standing in general. That was crazy. Louis Man. Clutch.
Yes, sir. On the sim. Looking a lot more stable than what we've seen previously. Look at these anti-air conversions. He's dumping up the damage, saving that bar at the bottom to really exercise that anti-air damage that this character's known for in this game. I like the slow-paced gameplay we saw from St. Fox. It definitely helped Louis Man slow down a little bit, but that also helped him exercise that fireball, the normal gameplay, kind of establish that really awkward neutral. You really didn't see that many spin knuckles, but it was hard to even throw out the spin knuckles. By that time, my man is already up in the air. He's already teleporting. He's already using like Stand Fierce and things like that.
Agreed.
It's like the variance is difficult to deal with, and Louis Man recognizing any sort of movement. We see even him catching these backdashes. One thing I would like to see though is a catch on the backdash at the side of Louis Man. If you got close enough to do so, we saw Louis Man escaping continuously, exiting with these backdashes, and maybe there could have been something there for St. Fox to deal with if he got close enough, but shoulda, coulda, woulda as Louis Man moves on. But shout outs though to St. Fox. Honestly, some good play throughout the bracket.
He had some really good call outs against the teleports as well. I think that's something to steal if you're looking at the Dalsa matchup. Being prepared for what happens if you catch somebody with a dash up. Or sorry, not with the dash up, with the teleport. He had the answers consistently. So big ups to St. Fox for having that matchup knowledge down. But it's Louis Man who prevails at the very slight movement, like punish on the movement. That was actually kind of crazy. But it's only going to get crazier as we have a DJ mirror match coming up between Mono and Edward Ting.
A DJ mirror match, bro, to end out the night. And a very important one as Mono, one of the picks to move on in the bracket. Unfortunately, had to face Kaba early on and now has to survive and thrive at losers. At Wording, when he gets going to form, man, my man is dumping out damage with the DJ and showcasing why that character can be so deadly. It's going to be a difficult one. A mirror match is already a hard thing because you're kind of facing the person more than the character. We'll see how their styles match up.
It's wild when we think about Mono being a DJ player as well. Like, we had that interview with Rob TV. I feel like in only a couple more, I think like 2 weeks from now, we'll get a different side of Mono that we were expecting, especially with that Aki play. But as it stands right now, I think, Mono has been a great pioneer for the character, really setting the standard at least for what he can do, what this character can do, especially like, granted he is in like the loser side. I think he was one of the first to kind of really figure out what to do with like big chip sequences.
Right.
I've seen him utilize his bar very well under fireball pressure as well. So I was like, I haven't seen, very early on, I haven't seen any other DJs play like this. So we'll see. We'll see how far he's gone, whether or not he's going to take down another fellow DJ player from Edward Ting.
And this region, just in general, has been really good about understanding how to adapt to Street Fighter 6 with the quickness. All the players we've seen really showcase what this game can do early. We'll see, though. Mono in the corner.
No anti-air, but damn, we talked about that whiff punish game. Mono definitely ready with the heavy punches as well. A little bit of a fake seize there with the knee shot. Missing that shot, actually, completely. Throwing off Edward.
Looks like Mono went with the purple. Forgot that is poison-flavored DJ right here. Oh, knee shot again. Just to get in. Yeah. Direct throw, backs up. Maybe looking for a DP from Ed. No bite, though. Not going to give it to him.
That's totally fine, right? If you're Edward Ting, you just kind of want to reassess, or not necessarily reassess, but like kind of like create that space to kind of think about what you want to do to approach Mono. But it's Mono who's not even giving him time to breathe. Yes, sir. The drive rush over and over again that led into that sequence. Edward didn't even want to press a button. That is the throw first round for Mono. Pretty convincing, too. That was a sick thing.
The sway and play to bait out the DP. That's fantastic. And gets the side switch to Mono. In the corner. Ooh, the crouch fierce coming through too as well.
What? That was Rod. He's going to cancel it. You know he's going to cancel it. That's going to be a lot of damage. Unscaled? unscaled too. Jesus, Mono, that was very lucky. Like that, there's no way to call it, man. That was mad lucky. I don't even know how he's getting away with it sometimes. But
Can't keep getting away with it.
How is that? How did he get that machine gun punch again? Machine gun upper. If it was like on purpose or by accident, that's the second time.
The 100% had to be no accident because I feel like he auto comboed or kind of auto sequenced into that, and just happened that Edward was not blocking. Might be dropping though. Edward gotta be careful. This is game point here for Mono. Oh.
A lot of deception going on with the fireballs too. From the side of Mono, he's trying to force Edwardson to make the errors, obviously, right? He's throwing in different looks with the air slasher. He's got the feints going. The drive rush doesn't go contested. The big punish counter still within range. Strike throw, and it's backdash as the answer for Mono to avoid the sequence altogether.
Drive rushes into a fireball, gets a pickup for the drive rush medium. Up in the corner with the Sobot, knee drop, Texa throw. Good challenge on the drive rush, the crouching right punch, and runs the DP. Just runs it raw, saw something in the bushes. Try to back up for the back heavy kick as the anti-air play, impact. Mono could route this right back. It's gonna take a few more sequences. Doesn't have the drive gauge to help him out.
Empty jump low, that was a counter hit against Edward. He could do it again, right? Knee shot instead, no perfect parry. Does get himself out of the corner. One touch against Mono. It's the OD fireball from point blank, hard to react to. And also able to cover whatever it is Mono wanted to do with that air slasher of his own.
Very smart sub. Looks like there was an input error right there. It's possibly supposed to be DP. Unfortunate OD air slasher. Oh, Mono is going for a lot of these, like the sway, like get through the fireballs. I like that variance in terms of dealing with the fireballs, and I like the shimmy though. Edward, okay, this is what we saw from Edward. He was down a little bit. He starts to turn up like volume with the quickness. Oh, maybe that's supposed to be OD. Get the pressure on. Oh, great minds think alike. Double three immediately. Give me your bar.
Not going to put it on burnout per se, but it's going to be pretty close to it, right? And especially after this, I think he's able to throw a fireball safely. No, he's not going to do it anyway. I don't know about safely, but the medium one, perhaps. Not the heavy.
Would have been a bad option. Mono on the back foot. Edward leading. Mono's bleeding for a little bit. Drive rush. No back throw, just a normal throw. These challenges on these drive rushes have been A+, A1, and this will get it done. Level 3. Edward routing it back. You see him just waiting for Mono to drive rush, and he knows what DJ players want. He is one himself.
That's fair. Again, like that's one of the biggest things you're looking for in the DJ matchup is like, how do I stop myself? Like, I like to abuse the drive rushes too. How do I stop that if it's the mirror match? Right. He's just backing away too. We see a little bit of a preemptive like drive rush forward into standing medium punch a little bit early for Mono to get the counter punches going against Edward Singh. So you're starting to see the adaptations coming in from Mono. That's got to be big intel from Edward.
They didn't utilize right there. Gets to sweep off the feet with a crouching medium kick. I like these parries to try to keep as much bar as possible so we can maybe enact that drive rush and OD fireball play in the neutral. Ooh, the pokes though, and the stand medium kick and crouch medium kick. Everything is working out for the side of Edward.
The backdash was there. That was actually kind of slick from Mono, but still manages to get thrown. Fortunately enough, it was a back throw, so he gets to be. Ooh, that was so active. I was going to say he gets to play around with a lot of the estate. Edward's still trying to make these counter pokes happen, but it's now drive rush. Why counter poke when you have the drive rush? That's what Edward's about.
He's about to be taking this over Mono. He is on set point. That aggression, the confidence that he has is so different than what we saw previously. Switch the mindset. All right, here we go though. Mono's not done yet. DP ender, doubling down with the jackknife on point. Frame kill jab, ODDP, and that's a good option. Put him right back in the corner. Now it's time to oppress. They have fierce impact. No splat, but that's A-okay. Killing that drive gauge just like this.
No, he's doing the Mono against Mono? No shot. I love the jump reset opportunity now for Mono. Gets himself into burnout. Edward trying to throw out a parry. Punish, counter. You get to link a crouching medium kick. Medium punch after that, excuse me.
Nice anti-air. Yeah. Put him down to the ground. Mono saying this round, there's a throw. And the drive impact. No, the bar's back here for Ed. Would have that rebuttal. But Ed on the verge of level 3. Oh, he doesn't get the just go follow-up. Mono's tournament life is on the point. Is on the board right now.
Oh, the punish counter on the landing frames. That's enough. Edward Ting eliminates Mono PR off of a big big read on the maneuvering. That was really, really slick from Edward, being able to get around Mono airborne and getting a punish counter afterwards. That's tough. Standing medium punch of all things. I've seen a lot of punish counters come from waves of lights into like drive rush or whatever, but he was absolutely ready for the jump option against Mono. That was super slick and impressive. Edward Ting moving on.
He said, I'm on the team, bro. I'm on the team. And he'll be moving on to top 8 tomorrow. Fantastic play from him. Fortunately, that means that Mono is at one of the picks to do it, to move on, is out of the tournament, but I got to give big love up to Mono, y'all. Definitely come through the first attack where he is TOing and playing and PCing up cats. But back to Edward, bro. He just had that switch after like the first game or even the first round. It felt like he's a different cat, putting more of the just cools in there. Better meter management. You see him go for normal parries and perfect parries and things like that to keep bar against the fireballs, and his sequencing, saucing combos were fantastic.
Yeah, I think overall the reads that he wanted to utilize against... what's funny is Mono actually had the idea of counter-poking with drive rush forward into medium punch. I think Edward was the one that actually found success against Mono using that same tactic. We talked about, walking under the knee shot. Just it's hard to, like, stray away from using that strategy as, like, a way to kind of close the gap. But if they're closer than you'd want them to be, and you still commit to that knee shot, you're bound for like a big punish on that. So I totally get it as like a DJ player, like dabbling with him. You kind of want to like get antsy and close the gap with knee shot because it's hard to react to sometimes, right? Especially with like having a character that has to charge to get an uppercut. Like sometimes back roundhouse may not be like the best thing at certain points in time for anti-airs, but it was really smart that Edward Ting, he was not afraid, right? He was still moving forward and continues to do so in the top 8. That was really unfortunate timing for the knee shot to happen, but even more so better for Edward Ting making quick work actually in that last round. So really, really slick. Louisman versus Edward Ting, man, that's also going to be explosive.
Ooh, that's going to be fantastic. Before that's going to be G-Roy and Jimmy. A Tigers match coming up tomorrow. That's top 8. Can we take a look at the winner side of things for top 8? Do we have that as well? Because we do have that squared away. We do have our total top 8 squared away for tomorrow. And here we go. Actually, this is just the full bracket right there. I love to see it. Kaba versus Joshi. The very first match, Ajax Fidelity versus Brian B. Then Edward Ting, Louis Man, as he put it. And then Jimmy DR versus G-Roy to round out that top 8 spot. First to 3 all the way through. So even more Street Fighter action for all of you coming through on a beautiful Sunday. That's going to be great to see. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, so we're going to establish the rest of this tomorrow, as we just mentioned, but it's not going to be the end of the CPTs for the entirety of it, because we have so many more events to go through, right? The registration is currently open. We want to remind you folks at home to mark your calendars and register for the Capcom Pro Tour because it's currently underway, right? All the regional CPT online events are now available to sign up, as well as the 2 CPT offline events happening in Singapore and France. But this is the one we want to focus on right now. Brazil is going to be closing Monday, September 18th. Again, if you are a part of this region, your one shot, your one claim to fame to make it into Capcom Cup 10 is via signing up over at CapcomProTour.com for all the information, where to sign up and how to register. That's exactly where you need to go to, because again, we have the grand prize of $1 million for Capcom Cup with over $2 million at stake for the rest of them. So again, the registration is closing Monday, September 18th for Brazil. As for the rest of the regions, currently available for signups.
Yeah, make sure y'all come through correct on, because you see this tournament schedule right here for the rest of the CPT. Brazil is on the 23rd for September, October 14th for South Africa, and of course Singapore offline that you mentioned. I got to make sure I say offline because that's very important. It's one of the qualifiers. It's October 20th and to the 22nd, sorry. Also, there's more ways to play in terms of getting the qualification. So World Warrior, y'all can sign up ASAP right now. This is not the only way to qualify for the CPT. You can do it through the World Warrior regional events that are happening right now. 26 different regions, 26 regional champions, all competing for the grand prize of $1 million at Capcom Cup 10. Head on over to CapcomProTour.com for more information.
And if you guys have already heard it a couple of times over, just in case you haven't, Chipotle has partnered up with us here at the Capcom Pro Tour. In fact, we've been part of... they've been part of this whole thing going into every single CPT thus far, right? We've had so many ways to get your hands on Chipotle, mobile order even. I'm pretty sure there's got to be one somewhere in the States around you right now, even as we speak. But Just in case you haven't had enough Chipotle, well, guess what? We have this segment to break down our top 8 with Chipotle Unwrapped. You do not want to miss it. When we come back, we will highlight some of our favorites from the top 16, some of your favorites as well. We've been paying attention to the chat too, so stick around. When we come back, we'll have more of our top 8 discussion and top 16 with Chipotle Unwrapped right after this.
You're really making all of this by hand.
Oh yeah. The avocados are hand mashed, the chips are hand tossed, and everything is made fresh.
You make it fresh every day.
Yes, every day. The Chipotle way is we make it fresh every day.
Sounds delicious.
Street Fighter 6.
Fighting is an art. And this is our canvas. Here, we flex our style, our passion, our creativity, our skills. We come here to break rules, to bend minds, to change the game. This is where we make an impression. This is where we make our masterpiece.
Street Fighter 6.
Available now.
Objection!
to the CPT, Central America East. Presented by Chipotle Unwrapped. Bro, I'm salivating so much I can't even speak right because I see chips right in front of me that you are already eating right now that I'd like to partake in. And, you know, we've already been taking in a lot of great Street Fighter action all the way through, have we not?
Yeah, we sure have, man.
So I've not had food in front of me like this, so I'm a little hungry, but you know, a lot of these competitors were hungry to get that top 8 spot. We have that squared away for tomorrow, for Sunday. We're going to be seeing those cats played out tomorrow. But we have to go down what went down every single match, or at least most of the matches that we think were the most marquee. One of them being, I feel like Kaba and Mono being one of the first ones.
We sure have, man.
That was ridiculous. Yo, let's take a look right here. Kaba taking down Mono, I think, was one of the matches that we look out for, as that kind of set the pace for the entire tournament. City bound down the losers, and the Kaba taking that 2-0 pretty dominantly, I feel like, up in that match overall. But then also, you know, you think about the other players that are in this bracket that could do work. Ajax Fidelity, who had won the World Warrior tournament, also doing work out here. 2-0 and Jimmy DR. Looked like Jimmy was a little bit lost right there in that matchup. I think those were my two biggest ones in terms of things for winners.
Yeah, it's tough. And looking at the winner side of top 16, it's kind of difficult to figure out which one was like my favorite, because I felt like, to be honest, all of them are top contenders, right? All of them have had their kind of lore built up, their stories built up within their community as well. I just feel like there hasn't been enough to showcase that, right? 2-0s all across the board, except for Hochi versus St. Fox. I think obviously that was the closest one, but I'm not going to say that was my favorite one to watch. I wanted to see a little bit more from like all of these matches, but I will say I think the most dominant one that I saw was Ajax Fidelity. I was a big fan of how he performed and dominating over in his matchup as well, but if we could possibly look at the loser side as well, I think there's a little bit more of a story to tell. Like looking at some of these dominant games, like obviously it's fun, it's fast, but I want to see a little bit more contention. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it as often, right? We saw Louis Man versus Joker. That was actually a huge scramble towards the end. Then Edward Ting versus Balanzjan. That could have gone towards anybody's game as well. But I will say this, from the entirety of like round 1 and round 2, out of all of them, I'd have to say, in terms of my favorite, it would have to be Mono versus Edward Ting, because it could have gone down either way.
True. Absolutely. I want to go back to like Luman versus St. Fox. I feel like that's a different Luman than we saw previously and how he was competing. Like a lot more stable, a lot more ready, a lot more the Luman that we expect him to be. Then get the victory.
Sorry.
He'll be moving on.
Don't say sorry. I thought that was quieter. Sorry. I forgot. I was switching back and forth. My bad.
People pay money for that. You know that, right? People pay money for that crunch.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I was
not that kind of stream.
I'm eating it for fun. It's like it's provided. But no, I mean, like in all honesty, it's hard to tell. I feel like the way that how volatile this game can be, seeing some of these 2-0s, we're not going to see like the full potential of it, right? So I can't necessarily say that this one was my favorite because it was a blowout. That's not what I was looking for. Like I wanted to see how much practice was being put on up until this very moment, right? But I will say, like, if I were to think about it that way, I will say, you know, obviously Ajax was one of my favorites just because he was so dominant. In terms of how close it was, actually, Mono versus Edward Ting, I'm still going to stick by that. But in totality, I just want to see a little bit more action, a little bit more interaction between some of these players, because sometimes you'll get these instances where it's just straight up 2-0 and it's like, I don't want to be like too, like, I don't want it to be too predictable. You know what I'm saying? But like, I get that it does come down to that sometimes, but I think where it becomes even more volatile is within the top 8. If we take a look at that bracket as well, and it's going to be 3 out of 5, right? 3 out of 5 territory is where it can completely spin, because somebody could have the 2-0 advantage, then completely flip the script and take it back. We've seen that happen before on a CPT stage, right?
That's true.
You're looking at Kaba versus Hochi. Right off the bat, Guile versus Ken. What are you thinking when it comes to that matchup? And then obviously Ajax Fidelity with how dominant he was. And Brian, we didn't even get to talk about Brian D.
That's true.
His was a wash, I think. We didn't even get to see G-Roy play, unfortunately.
On the reverse
G-Roy
side
was mad good from the loser side. But Brian was in a matchup where most people thought Guile was at the deficit, or he was in a losing matchup. Yo, that was actually kind of clean from Brian.
Very smart stuff. I mean, him using that bazooka knee to get through and using the drive rush, and just his spacing and being solid with the neutral against that character where it's difficult to deal with the JP. Yeah. But, you know, back to Kaba versus Joshi, I feel like that's going to be a difficult matchup for the likes of Ken. You know, we talked about how navigating those sonic booms are going to be problematic, but Ken is that character that even in matches where he doesn't feel comfortable, he always has a way to victory. He always has a path to victory. It's like getting that side switch, getting that damage, that corner carry, putting him in bad situations continuously. Obviously, Guile has great ways with flash kicks, things like that you have to really look out for. So I feel like that could happen for Joshi. You have that longer time to understand the boom game, but at the same time, Kaba's probably played the likes of Chris Tartarian, and
exactly.
a million other Ken players, right? Yeah.
I was waiting for the big underline. It's like, how much experience has Kaba had against this character versus how much experience has Hochi had against calibers of Giles played at Giles played at the caliber of a Knuckle-Do or a Kaba.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest point of contention, I feel like, in this matchup. Going further beyond Ajax versus Brian D, I don't know how much they played against each other, obviously different regions, but Ajax is looking pretty clean, right? I think overall, Jury can kind of struggle against Guile, but at the same time, it's like she has so many tools to get around whatever it is Guile needs to do. So that's also a tough one to call.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult one. I do think that Ajax has probably had a lot of practice, just outside of like Kaba and Brian, but the other people that he has, fought in these other regional tournaments and things like that, like the Casas and the TNSs and stuff like that he's possibly entered. And I also think that, even if it is difficult for her to traverse like the fireball pressure, when she gets in, she can get real nasty. We've seen the resets with the overheads from him. We've seen the drive impacts that he sneaks in. He'll definitely make the most of any opportunity that he gets when he gets in.
I think that's fair. I think it's a fair assessment. Taking a look at the loser side, let me get that bracket one more time. Edward Ting versus Louis Man. Again, when it comes to survival territory, the elimination side, that's where people kind of get nutty. And we've seen how nutty Louis Man can be with some of the scrambles that he was a part of in round one loser side. So we'll see if he brings that to Edward Ting's doorstep. So that could be kind of volatile. I think overall, DJ has what it takes to close the gap against Dalsum and oppress the hell out of him. But going into the next matchup after that, Jimmy DR versus G-Roy, again, part of the same team. That's going to be hard.
They have to play each other, obviously on the same team, but you have to bring something different to the table for a tournament sort of setting. I'm sure they know that as competitors. I'm worried about that matchup overall. I feel like the Marisa players, like Big Bird, he'd rather go with that Marisa matchup rather than like maybe going over to Rashid. I haven't really seen that much of Marisa in terms of like, top level, because it's really just been Big Bird making waves. It could be someone different today or tomorrow, I should say. I'm just so excited for this match. I wish these matches would happen today. I wish we could all get this through today, but top 8 will be tomorrow. You have to wait just a little bit longer.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Got it.
Well, we enjoyed this region. This region has been fantastic. When it comes to competition and also community, they're really out here. I mean, you go to First Attack, they treat you like family. Blink, I've never been there personally, but I hear they treat you like family. You go to these regions, they treat you like you are a part of their own. I've even had people that were, friends of mine that come up to me and showcase, like, hey, I brought my TV and my controllers and my consoles over so I can strengthen my scene of their own volition and things like that. That's how much they care about growing their scene in the community. Obviously, Mina and Mono have done a lot of work, but it's also community themselves as well, raising each other up, and that really makes the C and community of FGC matter, man.
Yeah, easily. They've been one of the most welcoming communities and also like one of the most welcoming players and fun to play against and fun to interact with. I mean, I have a good time just watching them play, watching them vibe out with their teammates, and also getting to talk to them about the game of Street Fighter, even with some of the player managers as well that come through and watch their players play. I get to like pick their brains a little bit. They're all fighting game players as well. I get to talk to some of those cats as well, part of Bandits as well too. But overall, it's going to be an exciting time. You guys don't want to miss it, right? Central America East is where it's at, right? Some of the prime talent is about to be showcased tomorrow over again. Top 8 for the Capcom Pro Tour. Be sure to set your clocks. It's going to be at the same time tomorrow. 1:30 p.m. PST is when the pre-show starts. Well, the action is going to kick off right at 2 p.m. In the meantime, it's going to be myself, Vicious, with St. Colo. We're going to chow down on these chips. On the other hand, we'll see you guys out in the streets tomorrow. Take care.